What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to SpawnCast, episode 50. Evan, what episode is this?
God.
50. I'm going with 54.
No,
that's not
55.
Right?
It's 55.
All right, all right. That's not bad. 55. I knew it was in the 50s somewhere. So that's not too bad. We actually have a lot of stuff to go over tonight from this past week because a ton of stuff happened. We have two guests with us tonight, although one of them seems to be a regular more times than not, with OJ from PlayerEssence. How you doing tonight, OJ?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on again, dude.
Yep, no, absolutely. And then we have Jordan Fringe. It has it on your Twitter, just your first and last name. Is there anything else you go by, or just Jordan?
Just Jordan Fringe, yeah. Nothing crazy.
Very good, very good. He's over on YouTube, does a lot of video game related stuff as well, obviously, since it's on the podcast. So make sure you check him out. Do you want to let everybody know what you do on your YouTube channel, though?
I mainly talk about whatever gaming stuff, anything that's like pop culture that I love. Right now, it's Spyro and Pokemon are the big things I'm covering back and forth. But yeah, that's mainly what I do, and I stream quite a bit.
Nice. So you're gonna have a lot of stuff to stream when Spyro and Pokemon actually come out.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna start streaming the original 3 Spyro games here within the next couple weeks and do everything in them just to prepare up for Reignited, which then I'll just be full-time streaming that, honestly.
Sure, yeah, man. It looks good for Spyro fans.
Yeah, guys, I checked out his channel too. I didn't know who he was before, and I checked it out. Really good channel, guys. So check it out. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Thank you very
much. Videos. Yeah, I just got caught up. I had to watch a few of your videos. Good stuff, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And then we have of course, Dreamcast guy over there. He's been kind of in hiding for the past week, playing God of War like crazy. So he's pretty much played through it twice, I think you said.
Yes, because there's I beat it, and then I tried, just because I know people are going to ask, I tried on the ultra hard difficulty they have. No, I can't beat it. Oh my freaking! It's one of those games that's rewarding, but literally, if you make one mistake in a battle, you're dead. It is just that hard. It's fun, but man, it's too much for me.
No spoilers, but was it that good of a game like everyone's saying? So far, I'm having a blast with it. Like I said, I think I'm like 5 hours in. I'm enjoying it.
It is, I have to say, I try not to use the word masterpiece too much. It is phenomenal. And in a way, it almost feels like a response to the series. Like, it seems like they tried to take the few things that were not great about the series and improve upon them. It is definitely the same Kratos. Don't expect him to like skip through a field putting flowers in his hair. This is still old, angry ass Kratos. And he just happened to have a little kid who is also a total badass.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk more about God of War when we get to our thoughts and everything for it, but I'm excited to get into it. And then Sean is done fighting the Labo robot. that's put away now. How's it going tonight, Sean?
It's good. But yeah, I broke up with Labo. I just, not for me. I can definitely see the appeal for many, but just not something for me. So I'm gonna go back to just playing actual video games instead of cardboard stuff.
I think you would have had actually a good time with the variety kit. I think that would have been more your Yeah, I think you would have liked that. You got that from Amazon, right? Just box it back up and send it back in, say it's defective.
Right. It didn't work. Like, I had to assemble it.
You know what's really funny? I wonder if Amazon, I didn't check, if they should have something that's like expert assembly, how they do that, where you can have your couch and stuff put together. They should have one of those for Labo. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
Yeah, just send it back, dude. Amazon's great because you can just send it back, even if it's like open. So you can't do that with like other places, but you can do that with Amazon. So yeah, just
see if they'll trade it for the variety kit. Like I said, you would like the variety kit. Some of the stuff in there is not like, they don't have like pulleys and all this stuff going everywhere. Like the piano, I think I put together, just used like one rubber band and that was it.
Yeah, this was like there were washers and bolts and strings and it was just too much. It was too much for me.
All right, we'll talk a bit about Labo as well when we get a little further. But then we of course have Evan. Evan is here tonight. Back, and he's going to give us his thoughts on Ys 8. How far, really quickly, have you gotten in it?
I don't feel like it's that far. I just got to the 4th character you can use in the story, and I've been playing it for hours. I mean, you do have to fight some of the bugs in it to try to like reboot and stuff and go back through a lot of the story just to get back to where you were, but it's pretty good. It's actually really enjoyable.
Cool. A lot of us are looking forward to it on the Switch in particular. I didn't get it on the Vita. Those are the kind of games I'd like to have portably, but the Switch seems perfect for that game. And unfortunately the PC versions had some rough times, so we'll talk a bit about that as well though. So let's I guess let's just jump in with what we've been playing. Oh, we do have a new sponsor though. Welcome, Agent Kuato. Did I say that right? Kuato?
Probably not, but
Seems
you
legit.
know.
Oh man. Welcome though. Thanks for sponsorship. Evan's actually gonna get some emojis together, hammers and whatnot. So I don't know if we'll ever have as many as OJ. OJ has a ton of emojis on his channel. Good ones too.
You gotta like, as you get more sponsors, you gotta earn them. But as you stream, you know. But yeah, we got a lot of emojis on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there though. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We'll have some fun stuff on here, I guess. Definitely hammers and whatnot.
Absolutely, man.
What's everyone been playing this week? Anything good? Let's talk games.
Nothing. Nothing. I'm holding it in my hand, but nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
Has everyone been playing mostly God of War since it came out on Friday? Well, Max had it like at the beginning of the week, but for the most part on release, has everyone just been playing God of War?
Yeah.
Except for Sean. Sean has not bought God of War yet.
It's because I got South Park sent over for the Switch, and it's like, I mean, if I buy God of War, it's just going to sit there because I got to review this in a timely manner. So after I finish South Park, I will be picking up God of War.
There you go. Fair enough. It's worth it though. It's worth the $60. It's hard to find games that are worth it nowadays. That one definitely is. But I mean, is that what mostly everyone's pretty much been playing this past week is God of War?
Yeah, I actually got Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's still wrapped up because Best Buy had it for $30 the complete.
Nice.
Oh, that's the complete with the DLC.
I never did the DLC. My girlfriend did it though, and she said it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I kind of want to play it, but like God of War, I gotta play God of War.
You haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn at all yet?
I played a little bit of it at the beginning, but I just didn't have the time because of Breath of the Wild. I didn't buy it right at launch. Then Breath of the Wild came out, and I just took it back because I got it from Amazon. So I just sent it back. I was like, I'll pick it up later. And then the DLC came out, and I was like, I'll just buy it later. When they do like the complete or whatever, like when they do like the Game of the Year edition. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild came out like 3 days later or something like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. They were close. They were close. So I already knew what was going to happen. I was like, let's just take it, just send it back, and just play. Legend of Zelda. And I just picked it up later. So yeah, I'm happy now, but it's still wrapped up. So I can't wait to get into that. But God of War first. So
yeah, definitely. God of War is an interesting game because they definitely changed the character heavily. If you check him out, like it's so different now from what he was. He actually has personality now. So, but have you noticed, Max? You can tell me this as well without spoiling it for people in the chat and everything. Mm-hmm. Does the game feels less violent than usual God of War, doesn't it?
Yes, because I feel like nothing bleeds. That's like something I've kind of noticed is a lot of things happen to be like when you later on you start fighting like ice monsters and you can't use your axe on it because your axe is frost.
Right. Yeah.
So when you rip them apart with your bare hands, since they're frozen, they don't shoot out blood. At the most, there's a couple fabulous little snowflakes. But yeah, it feels less violent, but also just a lot less bloodless. I think that's kind of what helps it.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't want they actually wanted to try to have like a story with emotion and everything, and they didn't want a massive amounts of violence to kind of get in the way. Because with God of War, like you go back to the old ones and it's always like violent, like he's ripping people's eyeballs out and stuff like that, and just doing some crazy stuff. But we never really knew Kratos as a character. We just knew him as this guy who just went around like just murdering everyone. That's actually something I really like about this new God of War.
Like Ascension kind of gets into who he is a bit, but I mean, who played that crap? I played it. I love God of War. I played it.
A lot of people hate that one. That's actually considered like the black sheep one. The one people are kind of like, but I thought it was cool.
Yeah, because you learn about Kratos more, because you learn about his beginnings and everything. I played every single God of War. I played the PSP titles too.
And see, that's my thing is, I actually don't like the God of War series overall, but I like Ascension because we finally got to see some character, and I think that's part of the reason why I love this game so much was the fact that it's like, let's see Kratos deal with hard times. Let's see him choose not to kill somebody. Let's see Kratos not just be a machine all the time.
I think that's probably one of the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, dude.
I think one of the best things about this God of War game is the fact that whatever happened between 3 and now, that story that it just kind of puts you in, it really doesn't explain. I mean, I haven't beaten the game. I don't know how far back it details everything, but it just puts you in this world. It kind of gives you a detailed run of what happened like right at that moment. But that he is a more trying to be a calmer person and look after this kid, and it's severely like it brings a level to a character that I wasn't expecting. Like, Kratos, he's just he's angry. He's going to rip stuff apart and he's just going to go crazy. But in this game, it's like when they use those moments, there's actually a depth behind him going insanely angry. It's always over, like, if someone comes and grabs the kid, he goes nuts. It's never like he's reserved. And I like this Kratos. And there's reasonings that we don't get to see, but it's kind of, guessed to be there. And I like that.
There's a scene, this is very near the beginning, so this isn't a spoiler, and I like it, where he ends up getting like ambushed by some like zombies, like you see a lot towards the beginning of the game, and he beats the heck out of them and rips them all apart, and then he literally turns around and there's a wild boar, and it's like, all right, son, it's time for some hunting training. And it's just like he's so much more about, like, you can tell his highest priority now is being a dad. So it's like, yeah, I'm still going to kill the hell out of all these zombies, and I'm going to love every second of it. But when it's time to teach my son a lesson, yeah, I'm going to do that as well. I don't know. I love the pacing.
It's so interesting to me that, like, they subtly show that he's not fully there and he's trying to be better, when there's moments where the kid's just looking over a cliff and going, wow, and he tries to put his hand on the kid's back, and then he'll do it a couple times and then just pull away and then say something, say, all right, let's go. And it's like, it's touching without being like too on the nose about it, and it really works for this character.
Yeah, well, it's so fun too, because I feel like that's the way he would. It's one of those weird times where I feel like they play a bad father well. And I feel like I haven't seen a game ever try that, where it's like I've never seen a game show, let's have a guy who is really removed, a guy who's killed millions of people with his bare hands. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to pat your buddy on the back, like, way to go, son, I'm proud of you. Instead, it's like, I will touch your back. No, I can't. No emotion.
What's it called? Drake from Uncharted. He's killed a gazillion people and was the best dad in the world, right?
I was always, especially because he's so funny about it. Like when he just shoots like 80 people in the head. He's like, all right, now let's sneak to this next area. Like, do you really have to care? You killed everybody. Just kill everybody.
Joke after he's like killed like a million. That's what I always find funny about the Uncharted series. Like, he's literally killed like a million people. He's like, oh yeah, let's go over here. Like, says something dumb every single time or some stupid joke.
There was a time when I was playing Uncharted 4 and I swung off a rope like off the top of a skyscraper, and I fly off and punch a guy so hard it breaks his neck. And the next cutscene, it's like, we should really bring snacks on the next mission. Like, what? You just killed the guy with a punch.
Oh man, they did start with a pretty cool, like, I know everybody's shown it, but there was like, I guess one of the first person you fight that they show very early on, the stranger. I like that. That was actually really fun. That was a cool fight.
You know what's cool about that fight, or just not, like I said, not going to spoil anything, but the fact, like, you guys were talking about how he shows restraint. You know, I mean, you see what happens at that beginning of the stranger fight. He like literally, like, in the past, he would have just ripped that. Like, there would be no like that went on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
clocks him in the jaw 4 times in a row, and he's like, "You may still leave." Like, that's, oh my god, it was such a good.
That blew my mind. I was like, what?
I would picture him just be like, I'm going to break one of your fingers and then you're allowed to walk out.
That's when I knew I was in for something special, was that fight. I was like, okay, wow, this is going to be something different.
Did you guys notice that he would actually, when you hit him, he would break through trees and stuff? Yes. That was pretty awesome. Like, I was saying, like, wow, this is something right now. I'm actually getting a 4K monitor probably next week.
Yeah.
And it's a 28-inch 4K FreeSync HDR monitor. So it's gonna be nice and everything, but that's where I want to see how it looks with the PS4 Pro. Then I want to see what that looks like.
This is the first game.
I think the game is to test it with.
Yeah, just especially when, like, no spoiler, but a way you get around a large part of the game is with a canoe. That's where a lot of the big open world sections are out on the lake. And so when I'm out there, I really feel the limits of my 1080p TV for the first time, where I'm like, this is clearly supposed to be 4K.
Same. And then the X, of course, can do the same thing, HDR, and then now it's got a 120 hertz patch apparently coming too. So it's gonna be. I think it's about time I upgrade. I don't want a big TV. I'd rather have a really nice monitor instead that I can play over here.
It looks great on my monitor. I don't have a PS4 Pro yet. I'll be getting one because of some generous people. But on my 4K monitor, it looks great. It looks really good even on my 4K monitor. So playing on the PS4 Pro, I think it's going to be awesome as well. Cool. So
yeah, I'm excited. God of War is going to look awesome on that, so I'm excited for that. And of course the Xbox One X for whenever, I guess, Crackdown decides to come out. So why don't we jump over? This is all right. So this is something that keeps going around, and people keep sending it to me, and I wasn't even really going to talk about it because if you look at where it's sourced from, I have a hard time believing it, but at least brings up conversation, and it's not too out there, I guess. But this is did you guys see the Xbox One E3 2018 supposed leaks?
I had some of my users tell me about it when I was live streaming today. Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay, it's the problem. It's so it comes from a Hungarian website, GamePod, and they cite sources from none other than 4chan.
Oh no!
What?
Oh no!
That's why I wasn't even really going to talk about it, but everybody sends me messages about it, and I think after looking down it, I think it's because it's not like they're not like saying crazy stuff is coming out. It's actually a pretty grounded list.
Yeah.
And that might be the problem. If this is correct, it could be a rather boring E3,
Really?
to be honest, for Microsoft.
You think so with the Perfect Dark, like with the third person? And
I get my I guess my problem is I wasn't really seeing anything that was like new, I guess, or big that was like, oh wow, cool. Like IP wise, I guess. I mean, they have some good marketing deals in there and everything, which is great. But how about I go down the list for you guys, and you can let me.
Please.
Most obvious one, Forza Horizon 4. I don't think that's surprising, right? Everybody, that you can basically set your clock to Forza at this point. 4K 30 though, sure. Japan setting, Xbox. All of these first party Microsoft ones are going to be Game Pass, and apparently there will also be a gameplay trailer demo. That's of course fall. Everyone knows it's probably coming this year. Starfield, that would be from Bethesda. That's their new game, but that's also going to, I believe, be on other systems too. I don't think that's just going to be on Microsoft's, even though the list seems to say just Microsoft. Starfield though,
it first.
What's that?
Maybe they just get to show it off first,
like Anthem.
Oh, yep. It says they have a marketing deal, so it'll be like one of those things where they're like, Xbox is like comes after all the trailers, and people, it works too. People like think certain games aren't even like, I remember when Destiny came out, people were convinced it wasn't even on the Xbox.
Yep.
From what I remember. So that's the thing. Scream Ride 2, not really sure what that would be. Anyone know Scream Ride 1?
I've never heard of it.
Classic.
I'm gonna secretly Google and see
that's
Scream Ride.
That's a Game Pass. That must be a first party IP from Microsoft.
Oh, it looks awful. It looks like you build roller coasters and then ride them, and I don't see anybody else riding them with you. It's like crappy 3D roller coaster tycoon.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Good. Actually, Roller Coaster Tycoon's actually coming to the Switch from what I remember. That's actually happening this. It's actually happening too. They're not taking funding anymore, and it's coming out this holiday.
Yeah, I reported on it. It's definitely coming this holiday.
If it comes out, I'm going to ignore the BS and play with an open mind because I love roller coaster.
You should look forward to E3 then, because apparently they said there's a big surprise for E3. So
big surprise.
Is there an actual roller coaster at the event?
They can't afford that.
That's why they come into E3 on a roller coaster, like, woo!
I pictured a guy with a top hat walking in, like, "Hello, I'm a tycoon. This is a roller coaster. Buy our game. This is it."
They build it. And they're like, "All right, everyone who wants to ride it, you have to pay a lot because we got a fun paying this."
Yeah, $500 a ride.
The next one is Crackdown 3, which isn't surprising because that has to be at E3, I think, at this point, or they might as well cancel it. Game Pass, but they'll also have a multiplayer beta, and then they are saying holiday 2018. So
for Crackdown?
Crackdown 3, yeah.
That's been in development.
Yeah. That show, I remember seeing it in 2014, so that would have been been more than 4 years, I guess, right? I've never seen it. That's crazy. Which means it was in development for probably 6 years then. Man.
They've always had that really bad back and forth though, because of their cloud processing that was never really a thing. Then it became a thing. Then it became not a thing. And then it became
I think they promised that way too early. I think they just promised that way too early. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, they get the marketing deal. Here's the thing that I don't believe. Game Pass for that game. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Fall 2018, but it's going to be on Game Pass. That's a third-party game, though. That's why I have a hard time believing that.
They're going to absorb the blow. They're just going to they have to. I mean, if that happens, they're just going to absorb it. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, that would help Game Pass, obviously.
Big time.
Sea of Thieves content, new content trailer, all that good stuff. I guess they're going to show the next update for it, I guess.
That's a bad thing to put on your stage.
Ashen gameplay trailer, holiday 2018. The Last Night gameplay trailer, Xbox Game Pass, holiday 2018. Below, which I'm surprised, I thought everyone forgot about that game. Holiday 2018 with Game Pass. A lot of these games that we're hearing right now are all 2018 games. They have 2019 games below this. Madden, they will have the marketing deal for Madden, which isn't surprising because I feel like a lot of people play Madden on the Xbox anyway. Holiday 2018. Minecraft, new content update that's coming in the fall. They're going to apparently have the marketing deal for Battlefield 5 or Battlefield V. That's another gameplay trailer. We already know that's coming 2018. They've been laughing at Call of Duty all week, which we'll talk about that a little later too, because Call of Duty is making some weird decisions right now. We'll go over that. Metro Exodus, we already know they have the marketing. We've heard about that. A gameplay demo holiday. Banjo-Kazooie Anniversary. I'm not really sure. I guess that's like kind of the remaster that we get for things like Spyro and Crash, maybe. Game Pass fall 2018. I like the idea of Game Pass now if all of these first party games are going to be announced. That's a good thing. Then we get into the 2019 games they'll be showing. Borderlands 3, apparently they have the marketing for that. And then it also marks that as Game Pass.
That's very interesting, actually.
That would cost a lot of money to go on Game Pass, I feel like, by Microsoft.
I do not believe that one in the slightest.
That's tough.
That's a very hard one to.
Is this real quick? I mean, maybe this could be their way, because like I've been saying this for a while. This is what Microsoft wants to do. They want to push this digital revolution. This is what they want their business to be, and if they can win people, I mean, this is the type of stuff that they can spend the cash on instead of actually getting like first party games. Like this is the type of stuff that they can spend the cash on to win more people over. They're not winning Japan. They're not winning Europe. They're just going to do the best that they can here. So I mean, what I mean by winning is like they're not going to like sell a lot more. I mean, they're going to do, not in Japan, but in Europe, they'll do whatever.
Get people signed up though, get their money.
But it's not as far-fetched. It's not as far-fetched as
So my thing is, I live right next to Gearbox Studios. I occasionally get to like talk to their playtesters about like they whisper about Borderlands 3, but I've never seen a screenshot or anything. That studio isn't giant, but they've made like $1 billion, no exaggeration, off of the Borderlands game. So if Microsoft is coming at them to put it on Games Pass, it's got to be. I mean, they're paying them hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, it has to be an extremely lucrative deal. I just don't know. That seems so crazy.
Is it too far-fetched to believe that, like with games like these third-party games like Borderlands 3 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that Microsoft, when they show it off maybe at their conference saying, play the first 2 hours of the game to try it out exclusively with Game Pass, and then you can purchase it if you like it. They give a chance that everyone gets to play a part of it to hook you in to buy it then digitally on their platform. Like, all right, you can buy it digitally for a discount. We'll even make it $50 instead of $60. You could buy it digitally right now.
That, like EA Play, or I 100% believe that we may. This is just a pull inside of my butt right now, but I believe that it could be possible that we can start to see games added for a time to Game Pass and removed from a time for Game Pass, like Netflix. So like they sign a deal where it's on there for 6 months, because Borderlands earns crazy money over years. I can understand. Okay, a 6-month deal that I can swallow.
Well, here's the thing: Game Pass cycles games out pretty consistently. Actually, at the end of the month, it seems like more drop off and then some join.
Oh, so I've never seen anything drop. I never seen anything drop off. I just saw it added on. Okay, then I do believe that then.
Yep. New Ori Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is cool to see there. Of course, Game Pass 2019 spring. Electric Madness, I don't know, apparently a racing game. Again, Xbox Game Pass. Sounds like their Game Pass, if all this is correct, is going to be massive by next year. Here's one that there's actually 2 more here that I'm actually excited for. 3 more actually. Splinter Cell, a full reboot, open world. They have the marketing first on Xbox, fall 2019. Splinter Cell, I actually think makes sense with Xbox. That's actually, believe it or not, I look at Splinter Cell and I actually relate it to the Xbox brand for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, because it was exclusive. It was exclusive first for Xbox.
Yeah, and the PS2 port was so famously bad.
Yeah, I remember that. I know. I actually played Chaos Theory on the Xbox, and it was ridiculous because it had like bump mapping and it looked ridiculous.
Yep.
PS2 version.
The particle effects or the physics when like curtains were blowing in the wind. Oh my god!
The shadows and the light were really like good on the original Xbox as well. I loved Chaos Theory and the first one. They're all good.
Next one is apparently they have the marketing deal on Anthem also. So,
right.
Next one.
That's already been revealed, right? Pretty much.
Yep. They'll have that gameplay demo fall 2019, and then I guess the next 2 big ones are Halo Genesis. It's a full reboot, split screen, new engine, Warzone 2.0. I don't like Warzone that much. Multiplayer beta 2018, teaser trailer, and it's coming out fall 2019. I like the idea of split screen coming back because Halo 5 having no split screen was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
So Halo Genesis being a reboot of the main series games, like an actual like start over point.
Yep, seems like it. That's what it says here anyway.
Okay.
It's like just a full reboot. So I guess
would like it in the God of War style then. Like, don't bring me back to the beginning. Just give a new story, but make it new on its own with the same characters. I hated 5. It took the characters and said, "Oh, you want Master Chief? Nah, he's not in this game. You get 3 levels with him. He's not in this game."
Well, my fear is that they follow up because the ending of 5 was so bizarre. If we pick up with wherever Master Chief is, and that's that would no bueno. I want to just redo all of that.
Next one is one that Evan will want to pay attention to. It's Cyberpunk 2077. They'll have the marketing, but they'll also have a full trailer. No release date. They're somewhere in 2019 or 2020 for that game. And then they have Joanna Dark, third-person action teaser trailer, holiday 2019.
Holiday 2019. Okay.
That's what it says. Yeah, so that's a yeah. I mean, if it is, we haven't heard anything about it, so I guess I get why that wouldn't. I mean, as long as it sticks to that release schedule.
Does it say who it's made by? Like, I know it's Xbox, but I don't know Microsoft. But like, does it have the developer of it?
It doesn't. It doesn't now. It doesn't have developer for any of these.
I'm a little cautious on that. I don't know if that one's real or not.
That's a lot of games though. If that ends up being correct, now that I'm reading it out loud, that seems like a lot.
We are going to see Perfect Dark. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Perfect Dark.
I mean, and everything's saying that Coalition has been working on it, which are the guys who did the Gears of War remake. So.
Remember we talked about that. There was this like website that talked about them working on something, and then they pulled back real quick, and they're like, "Oh no, we're not working on anything else. Just Gears." Just Gears.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, that would be dope. I would love the Coalition to make a Perfect Dark.
Yes.
That would be good.
Well, especially because that's a really fast, heavy third-person shooter, which is what that game needs to be, in my opinion. Like, let's give her some stuff to shoot from.
Yeah. Let's that'd be really cool if they did that, and maybe they shot for a decent like frame rate and everything, because it doesn't say anything about being open world. It seems to be open world games that suffer from like have frame rates at 30. I think 60 is like right there for it. That'd be really cool to have that at a high frame rate and everything. I look at this list, and if this is their actual list, I think they would do pretty well at E3 because they actually have games that are only on their system, of course with PC as well. But I would be okay with this if this was their E3. I would look at that and say that's a solid E3.
Pretty Game Pass heavy. Pretty Game Pass heavy. I mean, but
I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm fine. I have Game Pass.
Yeah.
Bring them all. I don't care.
I think they need a big reason to sell it, and that's, I mean, it makes sense. Push it as much as possible and make it look as great as possible.
Yes,
I'm kind of worried about Perfect Dark, though. I mean, the last it's only been 2 Perfect Darks. One was good and one not so much.
I hate Perfect Dark Zero. I absolutely hate that game with passion. I love Perfect Dark on the 64, but Perfect I really hate that game.
Well, I guess technically
I tried to like it too, guys. I tried to like it. I tried to play. I played it through. I beat it again. I really tried to like the game.
I remember when I first got that game. My friend got it because he got his 360, and that was the first game he got with Call of Duty 2. I remember we just liked it because it looked like it was shiny.
Yeah.
It looked amazing.
It did look
good. This is ridiculous.
I haven't played it since launch, but at launch we loved it. Me and my friends played through it, and when you get to the end and their dudes are wearing the glass armor and you shoot them and they shatter, we were like, "This is the future."
Yeah, but then we started to realize how bad it was, and we turned off the Xbox and plugged in the game. Played Mario Strikers more.
The first time I put in that game, and like within the first level, like 15 minutes into the game, there's like this area where you get trapped, and it game breaking. You can't get out, and you have to restart, and it just kept happening. I was like, I didn't even get past the first 15 minutes of the game, so it was terrible.
When they came out with Rare Replay, they turned, because that's in Rare Replay, they turned the multiplayer servers back on for a bit. And when you go into it, it basically becomes an Xbox 360, controlling like launch Xbox 360 controls to try and snipe people. It was stretched widescreen. It was so bad.
It'd be really cool for an announcement at E3. It'd be cool if they said that they were turning some of the servers on for some of the older original Xbox games that are backwards compatible.
I would love that.
Crimson Skies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Something like that, That would be awesome. Oh, man. I would like that. I've noticed this list says nothing about a Master Chief Collection update that's supposed to be happening sometime soon, or at least an announcement for it. I'm a little surprised that that's not part of it. Maybe it would be, and this is just a list that somebody made up for all we know.
Yeah.
It's 4chan. It's the name of the game. So we'll see how that turns out. But honestly, this list has me a little more excited about Microsoft's possibilities at E3. Because last year, if you remember, they rapid fired a lot of games. The problem was a lot of the games weren't like exclusive to them. Like, I mean, technically any of them because they're all on PC technically. But I'm gonna be really curious. Keep an eye on that Halo game to see if it makes the jump to PC as well.
Yeah,
because that's the only game really other than Sunset Overdrive, but no one plays that game anymore. For Halo is like the last game really left. It's only on the Xbox, and I'll be curious if they want to keep it there, if they want to actually move it to PC. Okay, Labo thoughts, Sean. Let them know.
I mean,
what do we see here with the robot? I didn't get the robot kit, so I can't speak on it. But
it's not for me. It's okay. Like but then again, I guess it depends on what kind of person you are. Like when I was a kid, people were like, "Didn't you play with Legos?" And I was like, "No, I didn't. I would go outside. I would play a video game. I would ride my skateboard." Like, and plus with Legos, like when I look at Legos, it's not something that like you want to get to the okay, you do want to get to the end goal, but like if you just want to build like the little Lego set for like 20 minutes and then walk away and do something else, that satisfaction's still going to be there. With the Labo, I feel like it's something that you want to assemble and then be actually able to use it. I don't know, like maybe I'm just wrong because Jesus Christ, there were so many people bitching at me in my video, which all I said was, hey, this shit's gonna take you a long time. I didn't think it would take this long. It's pretty complex. There's no extra pieces, just pretty much stating facts with some of my opinions, and then people just had a hissy fit over it. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It's not for me. I'm never gonna touch it again. It is sitting in a cabinet over there, and I'll throw it away when I move. But $70 lesson probably should have gotten the variety pack.
We'll help you put it together, man.
I mean, we got a whole workstation. It'll be easy.
I picture a collab video that's literally just RGT in the corner and be like, "This is bullshit. I don't care. You can become the robot, drive home as the robot."
I'm looking to see, like, usually they tell you how long it takes to put it together. I'm trying to find that online just to see how long it's supposed. Like I saw the piano. The piano was supposed to take 2.5 to 3.5 hours. I think that took me like an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 45 minutes.
An hour to put together?
I was lurking in your comment section, RGT, because it was so angry. And people were like, obviously, if you watch the final launch trailer, it says the build time for each one in the video. It's like, people, okay, you're doing too much Labo research.
Yeah, like, and how the hell do you know about that? But none of my friends or no one else seems to know about that.
I mean, I would have told you that, Sean, about the robot build. They actually put that out like a week and a half ago, I think.
See, until I saw your comment section and all the haters.
Bro, is that the only thing on the robot box? Like, is it only just the robot? Like, is there anything else?
No, it's just a robot. And there's
the level of it's just a robot, and just that level of disappointment.
Dude, do you see some of the stuff people are doing with the variety kit though? Because Nintendo actually designed an entire programming language, and people are making some crazy stuff right now.
Are they?
Yeah, with the Labo variety kit, there's like a whole thing where you can program the Joy-Con controllers to do different things, and people are like making some insane stuff. Like one person had like a candy dispensing machine. Like they had the Joy-Con in there, and it would vibrate and shoot some candy down and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And then somebody programmed it so that an actual face would like move on the screen and stuff.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, people are getting really like into that programming that's there, and then people are using the piano to like record music and play everything. It's kind of neat there. That's what I mean. I think you would have had a better time with the like, for example, the RC car takes like 15 minutes to build.
Yeah, I'll be right back real quick. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Like that's something I think you would have picked up and been like, okay, this will be fine. I get a little RC car. You picked like seriously like the hardest thing to build.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm telling people, like I'm interested in the variety pack. I probably won't pick it up anytime soon, but it definitely seems more my style. I don't know. I guess maybe I just didn't think it through or something like that.
Well,
but
you saw the robot and you said yes, and then you didn't realize it all has to go together first.
I mean, I guess I just didn't think it would be as intricate putting it together. Like the visor, for instance, took me a little while, and I feel like as I was putting that together, I feel like there was steps that they could have taken in the assembly process to make it more streamlined. You know what I'm saying? It was like fold this piece of cardboard and then take this piece of cardboard and then fold this piece of cardboard and then put these two together.
I'll tell you what I didn't like, and it actually slowed me down, were the instructions. Because I would actually, like for the piano, they were like, okay, we're going to assemble 7 keys. And I was like, okay. And basically they're like, they're all going to go together the same way. So they show you the first one. And I'm like, all right, now I'll just fold all the other ones real quick. And then I have to sit there and fast forward through all the steps. And I'm seriously, in my video, I'm just literally a couple times just sitting there like this, just fast forwarding. And that took like time because I was trying to get my time under an hour and a half to build the piano. And I couldn't do it because the instructions just took forever. I didn't like it that much to do that, but otherwise it went together smoothly. And the way the piano works is kind of cool, where they put tape or stickers, and the IR, the Joy-Con in the back sees everything in real time and like translates it back to the Switch, and then it makes all the music and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really cool. Yeah, like you have a knob that you turn, and there are stickers all around it, and that actually changes the pitch of what you're playing. And then you have a button that you record with, and the way that works is the cardboard at the bottom is kind of bent in like these triangle patterns, so it actually acts as a mechanical spring. Like it's some serious stuff going on in there, but it's easy enough for people to understand how some stuff is like built outside of Labo. When you actually build it with cardboard, it's actually amazing. Like there are people, I think there are schools right now in the UK that are ordering Labo kits to have in the classroom now.
Wow.
That's what Nintendo wants.
Yeah. Getting for education, you're in. So if anyone's going to buy Labo, I'm going to tell you now, buy the variety kit. Don't buy the robot one. Looks glamorous. Get the variety kit.
You know what I heard too was like the guy Craig Harris, he used to work at IGN. Now he does like the Apple iOS stuff. He's like on the Nintendo team. He was saying that the fishing game is really hype. Like he was saying that it's really good.
I haven't built that yet.
Yeah, he said it was really good. Like he really likes the fishing game. Like it's a pretty solid game.
I just wanted to build the piano. That was really it.
How come like fishing stuff and like all these games that like it's like the smallest thing is like so popular? Like with Labo, now there's the fishing. Far Cry, people are going crazy about fishing in that. When Final Fantasy 15 came out, everyone was about the fishing. It's like it's such a small part of these games, but everyone loses their mind about it.
That's because we have fishing on the Dreamcast, and that was like the best, and now we don't have it.
It's true.
I mean, we could go back further than that. You could go back to finding the Hylian Loke in Ocarina of Time.
Dude, that VMU fishing rod changed my life, man.
Yeah, the VM and like that the fishing, man, like Sega Bass fishing was awesome. I had that fishing rod. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Me and my friend, we go fishing all the time. It's like, why go real fishing? You can go this, man. You can go here.
Well, on modern Sega, you know, each of the Yakuza games has a different little fishing mini game, and in the newest one, you can actually put on full scuba gear and dive in the deep sea and battle squid. And there's a trophy if you can battle the king of the ocean. Like, what is this?
I gotta get it. I gotta get heavy into Yakuza when I'm done with God of War.
What even are those games? Like, I swear, I've seen the Yakuza games. They just go crazy.
So I only actually got into the last
spiritual successor to Shenmue a little bit, Max.
Yes, well, it's a lot of the same development team. And so what's interesting is I never played them until Sega just started sending me all of them, basically being like, we think you're going to like this. You might want to talk to us on the channel. And it completely won me over. You can play. There is an overarching story, and this may be controversial. I think you can play them in any order you want. Yes, like every game is basically a complete simulator of Japan in a year. You go to the certain year, and for whatever reason, the hero has some major problem. Like in the newest one, you're basically your adopted daughter is in a car accident. You're trying to figure out why this happened and who's at the bottom of it. But really, it's an excuse to hang out in the arcades, play games, beat up hundreds of people on the street. It's so fun.
I was thinking about jumping back in with Yakuza 0.
Yeah,
that sound right?
Zero is great.
Not so Kiwami after that.
0 is probably the best one because it's a little bit of a shock. I would say if you can probably play a little bit of Kiwami.
Okay. Because I'll jump into Kiwami then.
Yakuza 0 is actually way more advanced than Kiwami. And Kiwami, so like there's this weird shift. Like you have like 5 different combat stances in 0, whereas in the first one, you're kind of like, in Kiwami, you're kind of just like, hey guys, do you want to be punched in the nads?
I'll check that out though on the 4, especially when I get the monitor and everything. I think it'll look pretty cool. So Sean, you're just putting your Labo away and you're done with it for now. I would
for now.
like I said, I'll actually, you know what I'll do? I'll actually give you part of the variety kit. You could try it out that way and see what you think.
That would be fun.
I'll give you. I honestly, I was unboxing it, and there's a lot of stuff put together in there. I'm like, jeez, it's like when I got the box, it weighed a lot.
The robot one weighs a lot too.
Yeah, I was like, geez, and I'm opening it up, and it's like just sheet after sheet after sheet of cardboard cutout stuff. And I'm like, man.
See, that was kind of another thing that I felt was a bit overwhelming because there was like probably, I would say at least 20 plus different cardboard sheets. And knowing in my head, all of these sheets are for one project, and I'm going to have to use all of these sheets. I was just like,
it's like putting together IKEA furniture, man.
Yeah.
This is actually, Evan would have loved that. Evan does models and stuff all the time. He would have loved that. So I'll actually save a part one for you, Evan, as well. I shouldn't give you the fishing rod. It has like rope and stuff to it.
Yeah. We know you hate string. You said it specifically.
Oh, the bike, dude. The bike that you actually turn.
The steering wheel thing. That should be pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, man. I'll give you that one. All I got to literally do is give you cardboard and the box, and that's it. Like the game cart. That's it.
All right.
And you're good to go. That'll be cool. We'll check that out. Mine did come with a lot of like rubber bands and all kinds of stuff in there. I only had to use one, fortunately, for the piano. I don't know what uses all the other ones, but I don't really want to go near that part. So it's good. I would look in the variety kit. OJ, I know you're kind of talking about looking into it. You look into the variety kit, definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up the variety kit. I just had too much on my plate for this week. It was with God of War, then there was just so much other stuff going on, and then like community events that I was doing. So I was like, I can't. If I buy Labo, it's just gonna sit in the box. So let me just wait a little bit, and I'm gonna get the variety kit though.
I haven't Retzi Lopez. I haven't put it in water, so I don't. I assume it's cardboard that's very thin and flimsy. I wouldn't put it in water, so I wouldn't do that. I think it's a fun project. I think it's cool for kids or people who are just interested in learning about how things are put together and engineering and stuff, because it actually kind of makes your mind work a bit when you're putting it together. So it's kind of a cool learning experience without realizing that you're learning, I guess. So pretty cool there. Just know you are technically buying. And here's the thing. The cardboard is actually cheap. Did you guys see that on their website?
Yes.
You can buy them, and the cardboard's like $8, $7, like the cutout slabs of it and everything. So it's not that. I guess the software is what a lot of the cost went into. I guess. I don't know. It's not obscenely expensive if you have to buy it separately. But I will say, if you go on Amazon, have you guys looked at the cardboard? I didn't realize this, but I know someone who's actually into this. They have cardboard puzzles, and they're basically 3D puzzles that are built out of cardboard.
Yeah, we used to sell them at the bookstore, and they actually did pretty well. People like that. There's a weird group of hipsters that eat that up.
Yeah, and it's like on Amazon, and some of those are like $50 or $60. I was like, geez.
For a puzzle?
Yeah, that's made out of cardboard. Yeah.
Yes, but you're actually, a lot of times you're building like castles and catapults and stuff. It's a puzzle, but it's something you figure out on your own, and it's literally building like a giant 3D thing with puzzle pieces out of cardboard.
Yep. So it's this kind of stuff's been around for a long time. It just seems like Nintendo took it, mixed it with video games, and I guess like learning and put it out. So there you go. I did watch people play the robot game. I wasn't as sold on that, I'll be honest. But it looks like something that'll be fun to play, but the game isn't like, massive storyline, overarching progress or anything like that.
It's the God of War of cardboard.
Yeah, it's the Dark Souls of cardboard games.
Yes.
Speaking of Dark Souls was delayed on the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh, that transition though.
Yes, I know, right? That was right. Dark Souls delayed on the Nintendo Switch. No real reason why, I guess. Just that it's due to the nature of causality, as they said. They did kind of talk about wanting to make it a smooth portable experience, although I think that was just them doing PR speak to just say we're going to get it right. But the weird thing about this is it was technically first announced during Nintendo Direct.
Yep.
Which is highly confusing, because I have a feeling that paired with the Amiibo tells me that Nintendo and I assume Bandai had been talking for a while about this. And something must have happened in the background that we don't know about for them to have to delay it, because that's like almost detrimental to the release. It's very weird.
Yeah. At PAX East, they had it on display there, and for some reason, like you had to like book certain appointments to get like handheld modes with that. So I don't know if they did one specifically for Dark Souls. Maybe they did for like IGN and stuff like that. I'm not sure. But like playing these games at the stations, I don't think it was the actual game, like games like running slow compared to your controller inputs. But like every game had a problem. Like Crash Bandicoot was running not so good. When you like moved a certain way, it didn't catch up. And Dark Souls seemed a little bit like behind of what you were doing, so you would die pretty easily. So a lot of people just dying like constantly because the control inputs. But I just think that was the TV screens or the setups that they had. I don't think it was the game itself, but for all I know at this point, it could be.
When I went to one of the Nintendo events before the Switch came out, they had some issues with the controllers, probably because there were probably like 80 controllers in that room. They had some weird issues at times with the one I was using at one point where my character was constantly running left with the Pro controller, no matter what. And I just had to move to the next station. So I wonder if that was either just radio signals because there's so many going on there, or what. But it's interference maybe. But that I'm not sure about that.
So my theory is I got to talk to somebody who did behind closed doors. They're letting people run around all over the place. You were basically allowed to play for about 45 minutes of the Switch version. And I was talking to somebody who got the master key so that they can unlock doors, and they were trying to just purposely run to different areas and run past all the enemies they can to see how it ran. And they said, performance-wise, it seems totally fine. It doesn't seem like there's anything. So my theory is that it's just QA. I think that they're just trying to patch out the last of the glitches. I think it's just one of the things where they got to the end and they realized, look, like this isn't going to be ready in a month. Like we just need an extra couple weeks of QA. So I put my money on the fact that the game runs decent and it works decent. It's 30 frames a second, which is messed up for Dark Souls, but I think it's just the fact that they're afraid of a game-breaking bug.
I mean, the 360 version was like 25 to 30 frames, wasn't it?
At times, it might dip down to 17.
Well,
to
if you went to Blight Town, forget about that.
Yeah.
Somebody did manage to break away from the I guess the path they set up for you in PAX East, and they ran into Blight Town with the Switch, and apparently it was fine. Like it ran fine, which was interesting. Like it sounds like it was pretty smooth, at least the path they put you on for the most part. But who knows? Like maybe it's a later level that's having issues, or maybe it has something to do with the networking. I mean, they were going to run a full network test for it, which I mean should tell us right there that they needed to work out some bugs maybe with that. And then people also thought maybe they were waiting for the Nintendo Online, but I don't think they really need the Nintendo Online for Dark Souls.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. That means it would be September then. I can't imagine. I don't think it's going to be December.
No way. Summer. I'm thinking probably July.
That's what I was thinking. June or July. I don't think it's going to be pushed far. Because apparently that network test is still coming. So
yeah.
It hurts though. I will say that for a lot of people who were looking to get on the Switch, it's definitely like, oh man,
Can we all point and laugh? There's a bunch of people making conspiracy theories online saying that Sony paid them to delay the game. That's a real conspiracy theory.
It's always a conspiracy theory, though, when that happens.
They were like, Sony wants to make sure it sells best on their consoles so they can brag about it. So they paid they paid them to delay it a couple weeks. It's like, that's not happening. You're insane. That's not happening.
Such a stupid.
That's so dumb.
So
I know.
It's so dumb. It's not even.
Well, and I tweeted out how dumb it was, and all those people came out, and that tweet ended up blowing up. And a bunch of the replies are more of those dummies coming out of the freaking woodwork to be like, actually, Sony is paid for this. It's like, no, it doesn't have. This is not. Exclusivity agreements are not the same as you paying somebody to delay a finished game. You're a psychopath.
Oh, man.
And it'd be if a game like Bloodborne or Demon Souls was finally being ported, then I could see any kind of conspiracy theory. But when Dark Souls came out, like that was like their one where like everyone gets this.
Yeah.
So that's
an amiibo. And an amiibo. So you're trying to tell me that they paid them to delay an amiibo for a $40 remaster? This is what Sony's spending their money on?
Sony wants to
nobody.
I doubt it.
Sony wants to get their Bloodborne Totaku figure out first, or whatever those things are.
Oh yeah, because they're hurting for those pre-orders.
When you have that kind of install base, you don't have to pay for much anymore.
I know. Yeah, the money's printed itself. They're not pushing it.
Yep, and it's not like the Xbox base doesn't really like they don't have a good attach rate with the Xbox. No. So it's not like Sony has to really worry about that. I mean, seriously, some of the Xbox games have a struggle to sell, which is crazy to me. Because I know that system has to be over 35 million by now.
Real quick, did y'all see the really controversial meme that IGN posted and then deleted? It
That's
says,
so funny. I should have mentioned that when we did the God of War thing.
I do. It says best PlayStation 4 exclusive of 2018, and it shows God of War. And it says best Xbox One exclusive of 2018, and it's blank. And people are like, "Fuck you, Kotaku or IGN."
What's the problem?
Yeah.
What is the best?
No, they did the comparison. They were like, "Can you spot the difference?" And it was God of War on the left, and then it was a blank black space for it was basically like they were doing that. You know how Digital Foundry does comparisons and stuff. That's what they were doing.
Truth hurts. Shit.
Yeah, but they had to backpedal hard on that.
They did.
They were Deion Sanders there, man.
They did like 3 official apologies.
Backpedaling, bro.
The guy who posted the meme even did an official apology, but like, as the senior senior manager and editor of social media at IGN, I apologize for a distasteful meme. Like, come on.
Is it even that important?
I know. Like, really?
Dude, it's 2018 for you, man. This isn't the 90s anymore.
That's why
I'm sorry for making a joke at a console that didn't put out an exclusive besides Sea of Thieves recently.
Go to all the Xbox channels. All of them made conspiracy videos being like, we always knew that there was a bias, but now there's not even a reason to pretend. Like, oh, come on.
That's why I'm so glad that I am, I guess all of us are just independent people. So like, I could do something like that, and it's always I was like, suck my dick. Like, what are you gonna do?
You don't have to apologize for it.
Yeah, right, man. I'm pro GameCube, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
my GameCube loyalty runs deep.
My GameCube is always hooked up over here with that HDMI adapter now.
Okay, no bullshit. That's what I have upstairs right now, and I've been playing Simpsons Hit and Run for like hours, doing all this side missions and shit. Like, I'm obsessed.
You can't go wrong with it, though, man.
You really can't.
It's all good. It's all good. I did it pop in Soul Calibur too, though, and that looks ridiculous through HDMI. So.
Told you.
Yeah, I know. That was funny though. It's a shame that it came to the point where they had to take it down and apologize and stuff. I thought that was great.
3 apologies.
Yeah, you can look them up. It's pretty funny. It's like, okay, guys, you didn't set an orphan on fire. Come back.
Yeah,
gosh. Oh man. We'll talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Actually, you know what? First, let me get because there are some people who are curious about this, especially if they were looking into picking it up on the Switch or maybe even PS4 Vita, who haven't, maybe because it's kind of come into the limelight a bit more with the localization on the PS4 and Vita, and now the Switch version coming out in the summertime. Evan, can you give us your thoughts or your impressions on Ys 8?
It's pretty good. I know a couple weeks ago we were, or maybe even more than that, we were talking about what we were playing, and I brought up Ni no Kuni, and I said I didn't like it for the second one, and then I watched people light me up in chat. But this game I actually really like. It feels a little bit closer to like what an RPG should feel like, where you're trying to generate a team that works and stuff. It has base building opportunities. It has all these layers that, unlike in Ni no Kuni, when they show you like, hey, you can build a village, it's not just this side thing that really just doesn't matter at all. It actually matters heavily because you don't really get gear a lot. You can only get crafting material, because I always found like in Ni no Kuni, you would already have the gear by the time you could purchase it in your own town, so it didn't matter. But in this, you do want it. It's just paced better. Beyond the bugs, though, it's definitely still buggy. They've been patching it every day pretty much on Steam at this point. You have to opt into the beta if you haven't. They had problems with the cutscenes. Story-wise, it's pretty basic. You're not really going to experience something outlandish as far as I've gotten to so far, and I'm not that far in, I think, at this point. I've only gotten the 4th character you can play as. What else? I mean...
real quick, Alturo Studios says, all you guys rock. Thank you.
Dude, he's awesome. He drew a really cool Spyro thing for me and sent it to me. He's a really talented guy.
What were we saying though, Evan? Go ahead.
But yeah, this game for Ys, because I've always tried to get into the series ever since we had who was it, Brem, the one guy from our old store, who talked about Ys like it was the god tier stories for him. I played them. They were always kind of cool, but this one's really pulling me in a little more just because the world feels a little bit better. Visually, though, it's not that stunning. You're not going to be that impressed. And Ni no Kuni definitely had that over top of this current Ys.
We kind of had some gameplay video released for the Switch, and I noticed that. I know it's not a graphically impressive, crazy game or anything.
The characters are very stylized, but the world feels like a very bland and basic Korean MMO. So it's kind of got that going against it. But I mean, other than that, the gameplay is just really fun since it's full action all the time. You go to a part of the map and you just fight. That's it. Like there's no, let's go into battle mode now. It's just there's stuff over there, kill it, and that's all you're doing. The whole time.
Okay, so there's no transition to battle scene.
No.
It's just straight up run over, hit it. It's almost like it is an action MMO almost with stuff just in the field. Oh, okay, I kind of like that.
I'm actually super looking forward to playing that game. Joe from GameSack is a huge East fan, and he said it was really good. Like he really enjoyed that one. There was a couple that he didn't enjoy, but he said it's going to be dope as hell.
No, yeah, this one feels a lot better because I played a lot of the ones that had been coming out on Steam for a while to try to get into it, and they were always kind of that top down feel. It was very basic and it was okay, but this is just incredible feeling when you play it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to that.
Dougie's asking us if we're all watching Avengers next weekend.
Yep, got my tickets ordered.
Yep.
Haven't been to the movie theater since I was 18. So
did you guys see the tracking for it right now?
No, it's
It's
like
now
220 million.
No, it's even higher now. They said the tracking is going to beat out. It's going to take the #1 of all time in the States. It's going to beat Star Wars. Is what they're saying now.
Oh,
I mean, it has literally every like superhero they've been building for 10 years in this movie.
It's going to be crazy, man. I'm excited. I got my tickets too, and I already see that almost every like reserved like seating for like any showing is like sold out almost. So it's going to be a crazy weekend next week.
Yeah, I'll be seeing that. That'll be fun. Probably see it over the
yeah.
weekend. You gotta see it quickly because spoilers are gonna be everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And let's face it, they're gonna kill a bunch of characters.
Yep,
So you gotta
people
see
are gonna
it fast.
die. So,
I'm glad that they actually moved it a week forward to avoid spoilers. Like everyone gets it worldwide, same day. No ifs, ands, or buts, and I think that's a really good rule.
So Evan, you're pro Ease 8 right now?
I'm pro it. It's like, I mean, it definitely got downsides. It's not like a high tier game, and we got God of War out, so you're already seeing something incredible. But this feels like a really good RPG, and it's definitely something I was looking more forward to because I did pay full price for Ni no Kuni and hated it, but we got this code in.
Yeah.
So like, it is a free game, but I definitely would have purchased it. Like, it's one of those types of games.
So question: if I've never played a Ys game at all, like people always say that I definitely need to pick them up. If I picked up Ys 8, would I be able to just jump in and not be? Is there like a bajillion characters who all talk about stuff I've never heard of?
They'll reference things from the world that I guess is like the grander world of Ys, but it's not major. It doesn't really feel like it's necessary to know.
Okay.
Is it kind of like Final Fantasy where there are different stories, or
like what do you, like individual stories? I thought it was all one grand world and a timeline, but like it's a huge world and a huge timeline.
Final Fantasy is like everything's split off, like they're not completely related, but they have stuff that crosses over. Like Sid, for example, is in every game.
Well, but also the Final Fantasies are different universes. Ys shared universe.
Oh, okay. That's what I was trying to figure out.
But it's not like you're visiting cities that are known. The whole game takes place, as far as I know so far, on an island that's like a legendary island no one's been to. So its own thing.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to your thoughts when you're to the point where you're ready to do that. I'm sure people will be curious about what you think of the game, especially as we get closer and closer to the July release for that game on the Switch, because then all versions will be out.
Yep.
So that'll be good. I'll be curious to see what your thoughts are when you finish the game, and see what you think with the story and everything. So let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. First, before we start on that, we're at the top of the hour. I want to remind you guys we're here with OJ from PlayerEssence, and then Jordan Fringe. Make sure you check out their YouTube channels, and then of course Sean RGT85, and then Max Dreamcast Guy are also here as usual. Make sure you check out everyone's channel, and go sub to them if you enjoy their content. Let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops, because Sean was laughing. So why don't you tell us why you're laughing, Sean?
Because they don't. It's a nightmare.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's weird. So apparently there's a rumor out that appears to be a lot of people are getting this verified. That includes like places like Kotaku and Eurogamer and all these places. It doesn't look like Black Ops 4 is going to have a single player campaign. So it looks like they're going to focus on multiplayer and zombies.
No, so specifically, the reason I want to talk about this is it's really interesting. There's a really detailed leak that came out recently that's been verified, which is that they were making a campaign, but it wasn't coming together. Like apparently they just choose a bunch of like big set pieces, they sew it together, and they make it a cohesive story. They were having a lot of trouble on that, so they just canceled the story and are now working on trying to make a battle royale mode, but they're already saying internally that it's not going to hit 100 players. It's probably going to be like 20 or 50 players. Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like this is smelling like a dumpster fire. Like
Battlefield's been able to do 64 players forever.
Yes, I know. Well, but so
it's just engine and network problems, probably.
Yes, and network problems are what they've said in the leaked notes. But that's so terrifying to me of the idea of like if your game is, I mean, if it's coming out in 5 months and you just chopped off the entire story to make a new mode, like, oh my God, something is wrong.
I think there's going to be a problem here.
With a studio as big, you know, especially with the backing that they have, there should be no problem to compete with other battle royale games like PUBG or Fortnite or Radical Heights. Like there should be no excuse to at bare minimum get to 100 players. And I get them wanting to have it. It makes sense for the market right now. Like, yes, put a battle royale, even if it's not like the major thing, if they still had a campaign, put it in the multiplayer, people are going to eat that up. But as dumb as not having a campaign in there is, I'm not too hurt on that because I thought Black Ops 3's campaign was really poorly put together and was really bad story. Because I enjoyed the campaigns in them, but that game was just
with the robot
for
people.
me. Yeah, it was a really weird story. And so like with 4, it's like at this point, everyone mainly buys the game for online anyway. And if you're gonna make it an online game, go all out, put a battle royale mode, do what you have to do, make zombies. It's a huge thing, but at minimum, battle royale needs to be 100 for anyone to get into it. Even like 80, I think would be acceptable. But like 50 people, that match is over in 2 minutes.
Well,
like people are gonna be like, "Oh, the game's done."
I listened to some podcasts and they were basically going over the notes in detail. And that's one thing they said is we now have a benchmark for Battle Royale and it's 100 people fighting on an island. Like, unfortunately, like anything else, even if it's even 80 or 90, it's going to sound subpar. Like we've set a standard and so many people have copied it and built upon the 100 people on an island formula. If it's not that, it is going to look subpar.
They should be pushing it to like over 100. That's what Battlefield should be doing. They should be pushing like 200 people.
Did you hear Fortnite is experimenting with that idea internally right now? One of their director just talked about that. They said like we're thinking about making a bigger island with more players and just really like maybe we go 100 players above 100 for the first time.
How long until we get to a point where Battle Royale takes an entire day to finish? Like a whole match takes like an entire day because there's like 1,000 people.
World versus world.
It's like are we just getting to the point where we're actually in virtual Hunger Games and people have to like be at their desk playing like for days?
Well, that's what I'm not going to be playing. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, no, but that was something I've always dreamed of since I was a kid. Is the idea of like 3 50-man teams and they each like coordinate and then they drop onto an island and then when you're dead, you're dead. Like everybody has to work together. You have to heal your teammates. You have to share bullets, and the last army standing wins.
So. So everything that they're going to ship it with is basically going to be online only minus maybe some offline zombie stuff. I'm a little concerned about that when they sell that because what happens, years from now when no one's playing the multiplayer or they do turn the servers off?
Well, that's
then
where
there's no point in owning the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason you'd go back and buy like a $15 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or something now is because the campaign for that game was awesome. I like the campaign there a lot. Yeah. That's why you go back and buy a $10 Call of Duty. This one is going to go into it's going to become MAG. If people, I'm sure people remember in the chat MAG.
Massive action game.
You can't do anything.
Such a clever title.
I bought 10 copies for 13 cents each as a joke. So somebody was tweeting me today, and I thought it was a pretty interesting point, which is somebody said it seems like the earlier rumors about Modern Warfare 2 remastered only being the campaign kind of makes sense now. They probably are trying to throw this in, and when you buy the Super Ultimate Kamehameha Collector's Edition of Black Ops 4, you do get a campaign. It's just Modern Warfare 2 remastered.
But at that point, I want that multiplayer.
I know,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yes. Is like the pinnacle. Like that was the one where it's like when you say you play Call of Duty, you're like, yeah, because it was at its high point. It was fun. It was interesting. It was new. Everyone was playing it. I don't want just the camp. The campaign's great, but like, come on, the Rust knife fights on Rust, dude. That
I'm face bombing so hard.
Man.
Well, and it had such well balanced guns. That's the reason that game exploded. Is it had some of the most balanced combat ever.
Here's my other question. If they scrap the campaign, are they going to deliver a full game? Like, are they going to deliver a game that feels like it's worth $60? Or if they scrap the campaign, which costs them a lot of money, by the way, because that's where they hire celebrities. They obviously need a lot of mocap done. A lot more work goes into that believe it or not, than the multiplayer. So they cut that out, that big expense. Are they going to sell this game still for $60 with microtransactions?
Of course. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
Activision.
Yeah.
So did you see who's I think Total Biscuit tweeted out and said, yeah, this game's going to be $60, and I guarantee you all the development that went into motion capture and stuff is now going to be transferred into animations for loot crates opening and sparklers shooting out of your ass. Like, we're not getting a story, we're getting that.
Any celebrities that either were going to be in it or they want to still get into it to promote the game, I feel like in loot crates or whatever, you can get them to play as their skin online. Like, look, I'm playing as this basketball player, or I'm playing as this actor, and, you know, like stuff like that, because that'll interest some people to get loot crates.
And zombies mode for World War II was all celebrities. It was literally 4 celebrities.
It's been that way for a little while. Like they've always had all celebrities like skin.
I mean, everyone needs to remember this game would have been in development for at least 3 years.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, people understand that. Like they see the game every year, but yes, there are 3 studios and they alternate, so it's always 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. So the fact that in the last year they're chopping out the campaign. I mean, at that point it was so broken that they had to lose millions of dollars chopping it out.
Think about it.
Man, it's like, so tough. Jeez,
it's like they had 3 years to make it. And they only had set pieces for a campaign with only a few months to go until an inevitable release. Like they just had set pieces. They were just going to put everything together real quick. Like, all right, story points here, here, and here. Like, what is that?
That does sometimes work. Some games are made that way. And let's not forget, Iron Man was made that way. Iron Man didn't really have a script. The original Iron Man, they literally had directions they wanted it to go, and they made it up as they went along. So sometimes
with the right people who could sew it together. But we're also talking about, you know, the people making a Call of Duty game. They'll just be like, make some action piece, and then someone goes, you traitor, and punches in the face, blacks out, wakes up in a different area. Oh, now we're here.
I want a torture scene on a plane, and they go through space.
Yeah, do you think at some point they were like looking at what they were writing, and they were just like, wait, this sounds very familiar, and then they look back at the old ones, and they were like, oh, crap. And
there's a slow motion part where you have to pick up a knife and throw it at the person and hit him while he's strangling your friend. That happened in every other one.
A guy sobering up from like a 3-day drinking binge, and he's like, I realized this script is written in crowns, and it just says Fast and the Furious, but with more boobs. Just delete it. Like, we can't do this.
So let me ask you guys this: is this finally the year that Battlefield overtakes Call of Duty?
Yes, I 100% say that.
I think Battlefield 5 is going to turn into a battle royale game.
I mean, it's a rumor.
I think that would be the game to do it, where like, because like you see people like on Fortnite or PUBG that when they get in their like duos, like or their squads, they play really tight together. But for the most part, it's just single players playing by themselves, going frantic. I think Battlefield would be the one game to experience, like how you said it, where there's different teams that have to coordinate with each other. Because when I think of Battlefield, it's like, to win, you got to work with your team.
Yeah, the player base, honestly, the player base that's already installed with Battlefield are already pretty tactical. Probably the next mainstream game that's more tactical than that with their player base is probably Rainbow Six Siege, I guess. But Battlefield, those people generally get that game knowing what they're getting into. I actually would like to see some of those kind of people play a battle royale style game.
We sort of got that because, you know, they had the giant game type. It's 5 points that you're slowly taking over. There's 64 people on the map, and you're pushing a series of points super big. And if you put on your headset, it is 100% people calling out the number of enemies at a point and best ways to strike. People are trying to commandeer zeppelins. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are playing for reals. Okay.
Yeah, but they're going after points. I mean, like seriously, 100 people and every man for themselves. And it's like, you know, basically once you die, you're just out.
Yes.
You know, that'd be interesting to see everybody kind of turn on each other and do all this crazy stuff in the Battlefield setting, whereas PUBG and Fortnite, people are just scrambling in circles.
I've seen conflicting numbers, but I've seen some people say that last year Battlefield 1 came out, or 2 years ago? Last year, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. The year that Battlefield 1 came out, Battlefield 1 outsold Call of Duty in number of copies moved, but not in total profit, because the microtransactions ended up pushing Call of Duty way ahead. But I thought that was interesting that we've now actually had a year where Battlefield won.
Yeah, but okay, so it comes out, it has a full single player, has a full multiplayer, has the Battle Royale mode with 100 people. And then Call of Duty comes out, and it sounds like it might just be living off of its name at this point, just the Black Ops name.
Yeah.
Because if Battlefield does everything better, then what is Call of Duty? Do they hope that who's up next? Infinity Ward? Do they hope that Infinity Ward can the shell of Infinity Ward, I should say?
Modern Warfare 4. They're
No,
back.
you don't think they'll go back in time again to like some other like World War? I don't know. Or
I think
Korean
they
War or something.
I think they should have, and I think they missed the chance. I think they're screwed.
Yeah, because Battlefield apparently is going to World War II.
Mhm.
Is the rumor?
Did
Battlefield 5.
Did you ever see the leaked alpha version of Call of Duty Rome?
No.
It's a real game, and they built the entire prototype, and you can see that somebody's playing through the prototype level, and it's just, I mean, it looks like the crappiest version of For Honor you've ever seen. And apparently they built this demo, like a small team had permission to build it, and they took it to him like, okay, this is what we have idea. Like, this is so stupid. Why did we pay you to make this? Just delete it. It's so stupid. And somebody leaked it because they're like, we spent so much time on it. Please, somebody look at it.
Man, I don't even know where I'll go with this. I mean, I'll probably get both games, just check them out, but I have a strong feeling Battlefield's going to be the quality game this year.
But what if it's not Battlefield 5, and what if it's like Bad Company 3?
I would like that. I would, but there's like, I know there's supposed to be leaked pictures and stuff out there, but all we know is it being Battlefield 2018 right now. That's all we know. So it could be Bad Company 3. It's possible.
I'd be down for that.
There's rumors that people have been working on it. I own the Battlefield Bad Company games. I've never played them though. I hear they're fantastic.
Bad Company 2 was awesome. Evan and I
Bad Company 2 was so
everybody
good.
says that. Everybody says that, and that's why I bought them. And I just never played them for some reason. But universally I hear amazing things.
Bad Company 2 was awesome because it had the full. That was the first time I remember that I played it where it had full destruction of buildings. So terrain, everything. So you can actually take a grenade launcher.
It wasn't really terrain as much, but it was super fun when you're playing in multiplayer and a guy runs into a building and John's outside across, like, God, I can't shoot him. And he sees me pull out in a tank, go, I got him. And just go through the freaking wall and just
drive through the wall with the tank. Or if you're running away from somebody, you can shoot like your grenade launcher at it, blow up a side of the wall. It's gone. You jump out the building.
That's awesome.
So people had a hard time sniping and camping because you have rockets and everything. And then you also had classes for everyone that was pretty cool because you'd earn experience based on what you were doing. So if you're a medic, going around with a defibrillator, reviving people, you get points and everything that way and level up that specific class. So it was pretty cool.
I used to get the drill, and I would just run around and like drill people with it. It was so much fun.
I think there were like medals you would get for killing people with it or something.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
That makes me want it so bad just talking about 2, man. I would love a 3.
It'd be great if it kept it like in the same quality, so I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
So Max, you want to tell us a bit because you had a full video on this about Castlevania going to cell phones.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because you seem to be really annoyed by it.
Yes, so I consider myself a much newer Castlevania fan. I didn't really get them growing up, and in the last 8 years, I went through and beat all the Castlevanias, and I've really gained such a deep respect for how well constructed they are. They are, of course, the original Metroidvanias, but they're just so freaking fun. So it's weird that the series keeps going through these ups and downs, and I've noticed that they just have no idea what to do with it now because the fans are clamoring for it. We heard about, I watched OJ when he was reporting about somebody was trying to work together to make sure we got a 2D Metroid on Switch. There were all those rumors about Castlevania on Switch. And turns out it's coming to cell phones. It is a 2D Castlevania on cell phones that specifically is focusing on up to 4-player co-op. It takes place in the distant future where Dracula has been dead for 1,000 years and somebody decides to bring him back to life because they always do. And from some of the leaks and rumors, it makes it sound like it might be, what do they call it, a gacha game or whatever, where you buy
stuff. Yeah,
you get cards and then the cards battle for you and stuff, and then you fight in there with the cards. It's just so bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it's like that, if it's a gacha game, it can't be ported to consoles because those are all about microtransaction perpetuity. So if it's like that, we're never going to see a 2D Castlevania. So
I was going to say that I really liked your point in your video. I think the double-edged sword that if the game does great, Konami's going to think that mobile games is the way to go. And if it does bad, they're going to think that Castlevania just doesn't sell and they're going to not make them anymore, which is a great point. It's a real double-edged sword.
Well, and I also said in my video, specifically, it drives me nuts because this seems like such an easy time to make a Castlevania collection. They've actually done it before. The fantastic one on the PSP, the Dracula X Chronicles. So it seems so weird that they don't just make a Konami Classics collection and put the old Castlevanias on there. Because people buy that. If you put that on Switch, people will pay $60 for that. I would.
They're dumb. They're dumb.
It's so dumb.
Yeah. Konami is dumb as hell. Like they For every one good thing they do 50 bad things. They make Sega look like the most intelligent company in the world.
Well, specifically why this pissed me off so bad and why I had to make such an angry rant video is because the Castlevania anime is amazing. It is so good. And from everything they said, Konami was really on board. They were specifically watching the development of it to make sure it stayed true to the original theme. So it's weird that it's like, you know what makes Castlevania so fun and why fans like it. Why do you just turn it into a crappy cell phone game? You just did it right.
We still don't even know if it's technically free to play, but based on what Konami has done with Metal Gear Survive, we kind of assume it is.
I would think it's going to be a free to play game with like microtransactions. You can buy items and stuff and equipment and things like that. I still have a little, I guess, a shred of hope that it could come to other systems. We're getting quite a number of smartphone games.
Yeah, you're right. Manticore is actually a decent game, and that had a ton of microtransactions. They took them all out.
Mm-hmm. And like we talked about a little bit, like another eating game that's a smartphone game from the Chrono Trigger writer that's coming over. There's been Implosion. There's been Cat Quest originally was a smartphone game. There's been quite a number. So something tells me that maybe we'll get this one too. Konami made a lot of money off of Bomberman. I mean, we played it today. There was literally like nobody in the server. Like it was just us.
It sold over 1 million copies on.
Everyone bought it. It's a nice. Put it on their shelf. So that looks good. I like Bomberman, but never put it in their system. But yeah, I think there's a chance. There's a chance that maybe it comes over. Maybe it goes to smartphones first. Maybe we get an announcement. But like it's too. I know it looks like it's crappy, but if you look at a little bit more about the details about the game, it actually seems like it's going to be a solid Castlevania game.
I think people are annoyed because they're looking at that, but then they also see Bloodstained and they're like, "Ooh,
yeah."
No. Bloodstained doesn't look that great, though. I mean,
really? You don't think so?
Apostasy.
I don't think it's all that great.
Have you played the demo? I played the demo. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
is it?
I found that there's a demo of it floating around online. I think it's supposed to be for Patreon backers, but if you look around, people are posting it. And it's a
Kickstarter, like the people who.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I paid $6. This is the only game I've supported on Kickstarter. I paid $60 for that. I switched it over to the Switch version, but I was that confident in Koji. I felt bad for him because first of all, Konami, what they did to him. So I felt bad. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this guy a shot. And it's been a while, but I played the backer demo. There's going to be another backer demo coming. So there's gonna be another one coming for E3. So if you
it's really tight. OJ, you've played Circle of the Moon, right?
I played all the Castlevania games.
It felt just like Circle of the Moon, and that's one of my favorite ones. Like it just felt so responsive. So man, if it plays that good, I'm 1,000,000% on board with
Bloodstained. It's like a weird mix. It's not a weird, but it's like Dawn of Sorrow, Circle of the Moon. Kind of Symphony of the Night, and just kind of, and then a couple new ideas, and just kind of mash them all together. And then female protagonists, and like Order of Ecclesia, so a little bit like that. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on it.
It's what Mighty Number 9 should have been, which is like, let's take what you know, and this is what you're paying for, and build on that instead of just being like, bro.
Yeah. So I guess my real question is, do you think Konami shows up at E3 with anything of value?
No.
Shut up.
No.
So no.
I think maybe potentially there's just a slight chance of a Castlevania port or something to the Switch.
They just wheel a Castlevania pachinko machine out on stage. And they're like,
what if they showed up and they're remastering Symphony of the Night?
Oh my god, a remaster of Symphony of the Night with all 3 of the DS games, put them together, collection on Switch. That would be the dream.
Those are rare
it's Konami, so that's it makes sense, right? Like to put all 3 DS games, remaster them. Don't even have to make them look really. Just smooth them out, Just smooth them out. Put them on the Switch. I'd buy it.
I mean, what if they really released other than Metal Gear Survive and Bomberman, and what else have they really done?
I'm sure.
I'm missing something.
The remasters of what's that robot game with the flying all over
Zone of the Enders?
There we go. Yeah, they did a remaster of that on PS4, didn't they? Like 4K?
They're doing the VR for the second game.
I think that's coming out soon, the VR one. But I know the remaster, you're right, yeah.
I'm looking at Konami News right now just because apparently the only other thing they owned besides the IPs we know is apparently they owned one of the biggest soccer series in the world, PES, and they just lost it today.
Yes, PES. Yeah, they broke an agreement or a deal that they had.
Yeah,
They
so they're
broke
in it.
off, and that series is pretty much dead then at this point, to be honest.
So hold up, they lost the PES series. What do you
They
mean?
lost they had agreements with actual teams and leagues and everything.
Yeah, like a
much
license.
apparently they broke that though, and they don't want to pay for it, I guess, anymore. So that series is dead.
Yeah. Wow. There goes the humongous chunk of money. Those PES games made a lot of cash.
They sell. They don't. I mean, it still gets bopped by FIFA, but yeah, they do sell though. They do.
Thanks
sell.
to Dougie. We're gonna we'll be answering any and all super chats in the next 10 minutes or so. Super chats or just general questions and stuff. We'll answer them at 10 minutes. Thanks to Dougie though. So we'll get to your question about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, so they're kind of destroying a lot of their games that cost them too much money, and I guess they're trying to go cheap. I don't know. I guess pachinko. So
Pachinko cheap.
It's the
there's
future.
that.
Well,
That's
and
where
they're-
Metal Gear is right now. They
and they're
have
health
Snake. They have
parlors.
Snake trying to peddle off pachinko stuff.
It's like, what if they brought all their pachinko games, made them digital, and then put that on the Switch? It's just their pachinko library.
Oh man.
It's called the Screw the Fans collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as
So,
long as the servers are better than Bomberman, I'm good, dude. The servers of Bomberman are trash. Oh,
I put that. I got a little bit of blowback, but I did a video a while ago of like 5 Switch games I actually think suck, and I put that on there as like number 3 of like being like I consider Super Bomberman are trash. It was weird because that console has so much great stuff. That was the first game I played where I was like, wow, I got ripped off.
We did get early word of the NPDs. They did technically leak out. OJ, you can run us through some of the numbers and the placements of the systems.
Yeah, so far the numbers, I mean, obviously you got to take this is from Reset Era. It's not like we don't have the actual exact number, but people are saying this is what's right. Okay, so number 3 third place was the Xbox One with 299,000 units sold. The number 2 was the Nintendo Switch with 308,000 units sold. And the number 1 was PS4 with 354,000 units sold. So less than 60,000 units between all 3 systems. It's pretty close across the board. 3DS actually sold. 3DS was actually up 19% year on year. So I mean, everyone's saying the 3DS is actually selling better than it was in the previous.
That's so weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's up 19% year on year. Xbox One is also up 24% year on year. Switch is obviously down because it's not the launch year. But the PS4 is down, but it doesn't really matter. Those were the 1 and 2 in the year. Top selling SKUs: Far Cry 5 on the PS4. Same for Xbox One. Also Kirby. Kirby did really well. Sold 3rd.
Kirby's number 3. Wow, that's good.
Yeah,
that's actually good for that. Oh.
Exactly. It was really good. I think a lot of people underestimated how good Kirby's doing because Kirby's almost at 500,000 in Japan. And it might be with digital sales, it actually might be at 500,000 in Japan. So that's really good for the game because it's been out for about a month. So it did well in the US. Also, what else? MLB The Show did really well too. That was on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They did say that the combined between Far Cry and MLB The Show, it generated less revenue than Legend of Zelda. So it just kind of puts it in perspective.
Interesting. Okay. Thanks, Thomas Gawthorne. We'll read super chats the next 6 minutes or so. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm a little surprised that the Xbox actually came in 3rd because they had Far Cry and everything. That's a little surprising. The Switch actually sold more than I thought it would too because it hasn't had any big hitters or anything other than, I guess, you count Kirby. Although Kirby didn't even have a ton of marketing.
A lot of my users were telling me, I think it was my boy Retzi. He was saying hey, you and everyone else has been underestimating Kirby. And I was like, you know what, dude? I think we all did underestimate Kirby because what else causes? I mean, you got to look at it okay, in Japan, it was really good sales for Kirby.
It did well in Japan, yeah.
Yeah. Not in the US, you're getting number 3, and you get the sales above the Xbox One with a fraction of the Switch got literally a fraction of the games that PS4 and Xbox One got,
That's true. Yeah.
So the fact that it was able to sell 308,000 with Kirby essentially, and maybe a couple of the smaller independent games and stuff is actually pretty good. Maybe it's a lot better than more of a system pusher than people thought. That's all.
That's I'll say it's better than what the Wii U probably would have done.
There were times where the Wii U sold 20,000 units. a month.
Man,
20 to 30,000 in a month. So I'll take anything. I don't care if they win or I get number one. The fact that it's even up there with PS4 and Xbox One should just be everyone should be happy. There shouldn't be no complaining, at least from Nintendo fans, because I can't 20 to 30K a month at times.
See, people were talking about PS5 stuff and everything that getting announced here. I mean, man, I look at these numbers. I'm like, Sony doesn't need to do anything right now. They just kind of hang out.
I think 2020 is the earliest we're going to get any new consoles.
I don't
think we need them.
Oh, Microsoft might want to jump, but I don't think Sony does.
I 1,000,000% believe we're going to be seeing both of them shown next year.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because you want to give your system at least a year to build and hype and everything. So I get that. I mean, how long were we talking about Scorpio? Like a year and a half?
16 months. I think somebody pasted out 16 months.
Yeah.
Although they did for the Xbox One and the PS4, those were both shown and released in the same year.
Yeah.
So
that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could technically show it February and then release it at the end of the,
remember the Sony event that they did where they showed off Killzone Shadowfall. And it was like, oh, look at Killzone. And then they had Mark Cerny come out there and talk about how powerful the PS4 was. Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see. I'll be really curious to see that, but it's gonna be. I just want to see the pricing on that stuff. I can't imagine they get that stuff under $500 with some of the stuff that's floating around.
Yeah,
it'd be tough. 2020, I could see that, but man.
From everything I've heard, I fully believe that they're going to see him shown at E3 next year. I think, from what I've heard, I think what's going to happen is Sony and Microsoft are both going to come out on stage, and basically they're going to show all the games that are coming out 2019, and I think they're going to end the back half of both their conferences, basically be like, okay, this is our new console. These next trailers are all going to be launch games for the console. That way they can build up hype for a year. I think that they're going to try and hard shift to make sure that the next console generation explodes right at the start, the way these consoles already are exploding.
I think Microsoft has Fable in the back pocket for that launch.
I hear that rumor a lot. I don't.
For the
not PS5.
Yeah, I think that's what Playground's working on.
I hear that rumor a lot. I have never seen it. I'd be curious to just see a screenshot of it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be interesting though?
I think for PlayStation 5, their biggest thing, they literally only have to come out and say one thing when they show it off. Why do you want a PS5? Final Fantasy 7. That's all they have to say.
And Death Stranding. I've heard a lot of people say that.
You think that one's going to get pushed back that far?
No, I think it's going to be the first. I've heard a lot of people say that basically Last of Us. I only heard this last couple weeks, but Last of Us was basically built on what would have been a PlayStation 4 development kit, and then that's why when it was done, it was pushing the very limits, a red line in the PlayStation 3. And the second the 4 came out, there was and redo. There we go,
remastered.
Yeah, I can tell you what went down with that. So what they did is that instead, because they had a lot of issues, Naughty Dog did. From PS2 to PS3. So what they did is that they built the engines in terms of their games. They built it to where it was going to easily be able to put on the PS4. So that's why Uncharted turned out the way it did, and that's why The Last of Us. That's why they look so good, and they were able to bring them over so easily. Then Bluepoint was able to remaster it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, scale. Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes perfect. Yeah, you only get bit by that dog once, and then you're okay, I understand.
They got screwed going from PS2 to PS3. So we're not going to have that same issue. So they made sure to build that into the Uncharted 3 when they built that game. When they built Last of Us, okay, we're going to make sure when we port it over to PS4, it's going to be no problem. So Bluepoint had no problem. I mean, look at how great the Uncharted games are. Running.
Holy hell,
on the PS4, it's fantastic stuff. So that's what they did. So Naughty Dog's very smart in that regard.
Interesting.
Okay, very good. So I guess MPD in April. I assume we're all mostly expecting the PS4 to take that as well.
Yeah, God of War is going to kill it.
Labo number 1.
I don't know how they're going to track that. I guess that's a game. It's not even an accessory.
But do they count both as the same? Each kit is the same or separate games?
I guess they're different SKUs, so I guess they count them differently.
Yeah, they're different SKUs, so they'll count them different. But they might combine them together than just say. I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit different from a Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, right? Although those are two different SKUs, but they kind of combine them sometimes, or sometimes they have separate. So.
Well, I always think about Wii Sports, where Wii Sports for a long time was considered the best-selling game ever because some people were buying it solo, but some people were getting it with a pack-in. So it's technically it's the best-selling game.
Well, Japan, it didn't come with the Wii in Japan.
Oh, it didn't? Oh,
no, it didn't come with it. So
smart move.
All right then, very good. So we're thinking that's probably going to happen. God of War and PlayStation will pretty much own April. So it might even honestly might be enough to own May, even depending. So.
Yeah, I think it'll just continue. I don't think there's any reason to stop. There's a lot of good games on PS4. It's getting a lot of good stuff. Like throughout this first quarter of the year, it's been getting really good stuff.
I will be very curious about sales because I heard from a lot of people that online and everything that they were having a hard time finding physical copies of God of War.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it was sold out a lot of places.
Wow.
My Best Buy had plenty. My Best Buy had a lot, but I wouldn't doubt it too much that some places probably they didn't buy enough. Maybe they thought, okay, well, maybe people are going to buy digital and all that, but people are actually going out to the stores and buying the PS4 Pros and buying the $100-something ones. Like there was like 5 guys in line when I was there, like buying like that Stone Mason whatever one.
I actually got that version. I didn't even know that's the one I pre-ordered. I just ended up getting it in the mail. It's like I thought I got like. At first, I was like, I just got the standard one, and I was like, oh wait, I got the $100-some one, which was
that's a big price.
It was a big price. I looked at my credit card and said $158. I was like, oh, and then this giant box showed up in my door, and I was like, oh.
You're like, I'm eating a lot of ramen and playing God of War this month.
It's not so bad now that I got it. $150. Oh wait, hold up, never mind.
Yeah, I was like, oh. All right, Amazon, I see you out here switching.
Oh man, let's go through some comments. That sounds fun. Did we have any Evan in?
We got 2 on Discord.
All right, what do we have in Discord?
One of them is a 2-parter, I guess. How would you rank your top 5 Halo games? That's a basic question, I guess.
The top what Halo games? I'm sorry.
How would you rank your top 5 Halo games?
There's not that. I mean, there are more than 5, but they're cutting it close.
I would say Halo 1, Halo 3, Halo 2, Halo Reach, and then controversially, I'd say Halo 4.
Yeah, because that didn't make his list that he put up here.
I would put Halo 3 as number 1 for me. I love that game. Halo 3, then Halo 1, then I'd go Halo 2, and then I guess I'd have to go Reach. Ah, man.
I can Reach around.
Yeah, I guess I have to go Reach.
I put Reach pretty high. I'd do 3 as number 1.
I like 3. Yeah, that's what I put too.
I didn't like the multiplayer of Reach as much.
Really?
I love the story more. That was the first one with classes, and the classes kept getting brokenly strong.
I did not like those classes. Yeah. Yeah. The story was better though because I had actual Spartans and stuff, which was cool.
Yeah. Well, because based on the book, I'm obsessed with the book by Eric Nyland. So to see that basically turn into a video game was brilliant.
Yep. ODST. I didn't like ODST as much because there wasn't a lot there. I felt content wise.
It was just made for Firefly fans because that all the voice actors of the whole cast of Firefly.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just 3 was by far my favorite one. I thought that's where everything came together, like the multiplayer, the online, everything. I think that's where it all just was, and it fixed that cliffhanger ending of Halo 2. So
Halo 2, number 1, everything else below it.
Even with that ending,
I don't even give a shit about the single player. Talk about the multiplayer.
That ending
jumps, baby. Top of the map. Snipe your ass.
Well, not the snipe. I always laugh because of the fact that dual wielding was in Halo 2 and it completely broke the multiplayer and they just had to remove it. And Master Chief, he used to know how to use 2 guns. Now he doesn't.
What was the what's
second part with the rumors of the PS5, Xbox 2 being announced at some point in the next couple of years? Do you think Nintendo's holding on to the supplementary computing device in their back pocket for it, just to throw it out there?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt anything crazy coming out of Nintendo after seeing some of those patents that were just made public with their screens that apparently can communicate to each other. But I don't know. I don't really know how it's going to work when the Switch has X amount of units on the market, but then new systems get announced, because technically then it's still going to be like a 2-year transition from, the PS4 and the Xbox One to the PS5 and the Xbox 2, because there's still a large install base on the PS4 and somewhat on the Xbox One. They're still going to develop games for those systems, which can then also still be moved technically to the Switch. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think after like 2 years, maybe them being on the market, they have to make companies will have to make a decision. But by then we might just be on to the next Switch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how it's going to work out.
That's my big fear, actually. And I stated in a video a while ago, is my fear is something that really hurt the Wii U a lot, is that the way you program games for the Xbox 360 was identical to the way you made games for the Wii U. So as long as the Xbox 360 was being supported, it was real easy to bring stuff over. And once the Xbox 360 stopped being around, all of a sudden the games for the Wii U dried up real quick. So My fear is that when the Xbox 2 and PlayStation 5 come out, where you'll see the Switch ports taper off for a bit.
Okay, they'll probably still develop. Third parties like sports games go to like everything pretty much.
I think, but I'm saying stuff like Wolfenstein. I feel like the big stuff won't ever come. Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, yeah. I'm thinking by a year after, or maybe even 2 years, I think Nintendo probably then move to their next Switch if they haven't already, because Nintendo does those incremental upgrades a lot with their handhelds. So you never know. It could. I mean, how long? What is it, like a year later? The Game Boy Advance SP or something came out after the Game Boy Advance came out.
They're probably already working on something. The Switch I think, was a little bit of a litmus test. Is this going to work? The concept works. So it's an off-the-shelf Tegra chip. They can now say, okay, let's make a custom chip. Let's make a custom chip. Let's put something together, and it can be a lot better. So I think that's more of the line of where
they can go back to NVIDIA and be like, let's build something specifically for what we're trying to do. And
exactly.
They can sit down. They got the money. They got obviously the audience, and they'll build another Switch, I guess, and then everyone will buy it again.
And then it'll still have Skyrim on it, and I'll buy it for a ninth time.
Skyrim again.
Yeah, man.
I think they'll just package it.
Got to the point where it was Skyrim on the go at 1080p and like 60 frames per second or something.
They don't need to make a new game.
Yeah.
Skyrim could be the modern day Tetris. It'll be great.
This just comes packaged with every system. Skyrim. You just get a copy of Skyrim with everything.
It is. Yeah, they hand them out like you're walking into conventions. They're like, have a Skyrim, have a napkin, have a Skyrim.
Have a Skyrim cartridge for you.
I don't live far from Bethesda Studios, and my friend who works there made a joke that says when everyone comes through the door, even a visitor, they just say, "Oh, here's your complimentary Skyrim," and they just hand you a copy on a random system.
That'd be awesome.
Someone in chat said Elder Scrolls 6 Skyrim 2.
That would
what a title!
I would actually want that. I think that would be great.
I'd be fine with it. And you know what? I would not be shocked if they just tried it. Like, blame us. It sold 1 million copies the first day. Yeah, we're gonna send you another trillion.
Just Skyrim 2. Just the Elder Scrolls Skyrim 2.
It's Skyrim again.
If Red Dead Redemption 2 can pull it off while being the third game, Skyrim can pull it off as the sixth game.
Yeah.
Evan, do we have another question?
This other guy popped in as well. Seeing as how Nintendo had 2 Game of the Year contenders last year, do you think they have any franchises left that could take the award? And if so, which one? I mean,
you said for Game of the Year?
Yeah.
I'd say it comes down to Pokemon. That's the only thing that comes to mind. I've seen a lot of people. I think. I
don't think Retro's. It's possible. We don't know. Retro could release a game this year.
Fire Emblem.
Oh gosh.
Metroid somehow came out this year.
Yeah, but you know how it goes. OJ, you know how it goes with JRPGs and
dude. Fire Emblem Awakening didn't win it just because it was on 3DS. The game got the review scores to.
Dude, Persona 5 couldn't win it.
Yeah, I know, but Fire Emblem
JRPGs just don't win Game of the Year.
They don't. But Zelda did win it for the first time in terms of like the Game Awards.
For the Game Awards, yeah.
Fire Emblem, it depends on what they do with the gameplay. I think it has a chance. It has a chance. If it has the same type of impact that Awakening, a lot of people really just gave like Awakening. It was on 3DS. That was the only problem. That's why it didn't get included. But it literally it was one of the best reviewed games of the year. It could have easily won. A lot of people actually gave it Game of the Year. A lot of sites did.
Like Smash won't get Game of the Year because fighting games like never get Game of the Year.
Smash never gets Game of the Year.
And then Pokemon won't because Pokemon just doesn't like work out that way with Pokemon.
If it has the same impact as Awakening, if it can get up to that review scores, there will be some people that give it Game of the Year because Awakening did get Game of the Year from some places. It got reviews good enough to get Game of the Year. So
if Pokemon changes everything, like there's that one rumor, like it's going to be a completely new experience, new mechanics. If they completely turn it into something else, then who knows? But if it's the same stuff we're used to, it's not winning anything. It's going to probably be reviewed good, but that's about it.
For the record, I love Fire Emblem Awakening. I did a list. I did a video a while ago, top 10 best 3DS games of all time, and I think I put that at number 2 or number 1.
It's very good. Very good job, dude. I saw the list. It was very good.
Yeah, it blew me away. That was actually my third Fire Emblem ever, and I was like, oh my god.
Imagine like that if they took that and then like added new mechanics and everything, then had the graphics like to match like modern day graphics. Like that's the thing that holds Fire Emblem back, right?
My wallet's being sucked out of my pocket. Help!
Is it that 240p screen that holds it back?
Yeah. I thought my 3DS was gonna explode when I was playing.
Dude,
Echo.
that's a resolution we get mad at when YouTube tries to give us that, you know, like on like a super. There, I was trying to look for a Xenosaga trailer, and it was like 11 years ago when YouTube started, and it's like 240p, and I'm like,
I get mad at 480.
yeah, right.
Fire Emblem is definitely held back by the system it's on. I mean, it's just a fact. It's just held back. It's held back on the 3DS. So we'll get to see. It's jumping generations here, guys. It's like it's jumping like the technology. It's like it's jumping multiple generations. So we'll see what they do.
I'll at least see what Retro is doing, but man, it's gonna be hard to beat God of War right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be very difficult to beat God of War.
Absolutely.
I will hold out to see what Retro's working on, because you never know. They could surprise everyone, you know, with something crazy. So I'll hold out hope for that. I would like to see Retro make something really cool though, something different. You know, they might show up in the Donkey Kong, but
Donkey Kong 64 Switch, baby, let's go.
Oh man, I just want to see them be creative. But I just want Nintendo to be like, make whatever you want, and then we'd see what they make. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Some more Miyamoto's like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I just want to say real fast. One thing that's kind of blown me away about the last 3 years is new IP is selling like nuts. We're definitely in an age now where like this is the era to throw out something weird and different. Like
I think a lot of the player bases have kind of reset now. I think like younger kids have gotten older, and now they're able to buy these kind of games.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of 18-year-olds right now who have a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, and a Switch. Like I think that's the reason Horizon Zero Dawn sold explosively well. But if you tried to say, yeah, this is an open world action adventure game where you're cave people fighting robot dinosaurs, you'd be like, pass. Like, but that sells now.
Yeah, I mean, why not? That's good though.
I would like more soft reboots, and if, you know, with God of War, and if Halo turns into that, I would like to see a lot more. Like, I would like to see a new Dead Space entry. Doesn't have to continue F3. I would love a Dead Space, just something new. Not like how Mass Effect did it with Andromeda. That was garbage, but like actual care put into that kind of game, and like a whole new start, a whole new way of experiencing
there are Dead Space comics. There's a Dead Space movie and a Dead Space book, and I read them all last year. Yeah, and they kind of flesh out the universe a lot, and you realize those artifacts kind of show up sometimes. Like there's not just one. There
doesn't have to be Isaac. Like show me a new story. I love Dead Space. That's the one game like from EA. I'm just like, well, besides Skate,
yeah.
But who cares? They can make a Skate anytime they want. They're just lazy.
Is that Evan? Is that everybody in Discord?
Just one other, and it's kind of a basic question. Do you guys think console generations will ever end? I mean,
probably
as long as technology keeps moving. So
no, because I think the console providers like Sony and Microsoft actually like them to reset.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's line in the sand. Like you need it for marketing purposes, if nothing else.
Yeah, so I feel like they like to reset and sell another system to the same people all over again. But hey, you never know. Maybe they would like to get to the point where, I guess, all games work on all sides. I don't know. That would be too weird, I think, to get to that point. It might actually be confusing for some people, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's Dougie asks, did you guys ever make believe you were inside a video game as kids? For instance, I pretended I was in a Castlevania game and used a belt as a whip.
Yeah. Mega Man. I used to run and like throw dust like I was like Mega Man X, like it was like sliding and all that. Yeah, heck yeah, I used to pretend.
I have to think. I'm trying to remember when I was a kid. This is harder than I thought.
My friends.
Was I ever a kid?
Yeah, I know. I gotta think hard to remember what I ate yesterday half the time.
We completely reenacted almost the entire game of Resident Evil 2 in real life. We actually bought one of the strategy guides that had maps drawn out, and so we built my friend's house into as much of the police station as we could. We set up puzzles, so you actually had to solve puzzles to get keys. Like at one point you had to like find something that was hidden on top of a lamp that got you a key to a desk in his father's office. You could get like the next item. We had fake guns and bullets hidden around so we could fight off other kids who were pretending to be zombies. Like Resident Evil 2 was just such a big game to us that we just could not get enough of it.
I specifically remember actually when I was really little. I think it was like, when was that? I would have been like 5 or 6. No, it would have been like 7. We you know how you have those big puffy jackets that you have to wear in the cold?
Yeah.
If you pull your hand in and you don't have a hand, it's a Mega Buster. So that's what I would do when I was little.
I just had cardboard and I just went like that. But
because if you watch the cartoon for Mega Man, which I would, his hand would drop into his Mega Buster.
Yeah.
But I know nothing about these big puffy jackets that you guys wore on the East Coast. There's none of that where I'm at. Okay.
Really? Yeah, we have some ridiculous winters here.
Yeah, like I said, it snowed one time since I've been alive here.
Really? Wow. Interesting.
Once.
Wow.
It's April and it's still randomly winter on some days here.
It's nice and warm here where I'm at, dude.
Really?
It's just I have my window open right now. It's raining. It feels fantastic.
It's already summer where I'm at. It's already summer.
Let me see. What else do we have here? Kuro Tengetsu 91 says, check out the Tomb Portables theory on Metal Gear Solid Zero, MGS Zero. Wow. Okay. Let's check that out. Wishbone says PS5 spec sheet shown at E3 this year with a question mark like PlayStation 4 Neo. I don't think any of us, at least I don't think so, that we really think the PS5 is even going to be hinted at this year with some of the stuff they have lined up. You really don't want to give people the idea that they can wait to buy a game system. We saw what happened with Microsoft. Once they announced that Scorpio, their Xbox sales dipped heavily.
Plummeted.
Yeah.
But there was a weird spike, actually. There was the Xbox One S spiked for a short time. But yeah, then it was weird. You never know what the heck's going to happen.
Yeah, I just feel like if you give people a reason to wait, they're going to wait most times. Maybe not every time, but I feel like in that case, they'll be like, well, I'll just wait. I'll just save for the next one. You know, it's like, or like maybe you're thinking about buying a car and they're like, oh, next year we're going to move over to this, this engine or whatever. And they're like, I'll wait till next year. It's fine. Stuff like that. It's like, give them a reason to wait and they will. Especially like that. That's almost impulse buy territory where it's like a $300 system, where they walk into a store and they're like, yeah, I'll get that. But they know the nice model's coming out next year. They'll wait. Thomas Gawthorne says, who will sell more in the holiday season, Pokemon or Red Dead?
Red Dead.
Yeah, Red Dead.
As much as Pokemon, Red Dead has been waited on for quite some time.
And it's multi-plat.
Yeah,
it's multi-plat, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm really confident with saying that Red Dead's gonna beat it by a lot. I think Pokemon could definitely sell up. It's gonna be up there because Super Mario Odyssey sold 10 million plus.
Well, I think Pokemon has a very high chance of outselling it.
Pokemon's gonna sell somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 to 15 million by January if it comes out in November. What will happen?
Remember, what is it? Grand Theft Auto 5. And the first 72 hours made $1 billion.
Okay, so. There you go.
but that's GTA though. Red Dead isn't quite as popular.
Yeah, that's true. It's not. It doesn't have the Grand Theft Auto name.
Yeah,
I do feel like Rockstar though, as an entity, over the last 10 years, has changed into just they can obviously they made that tennis game. That tennis game sold 2 million copies.
Gosh, that table tennis.
Table tennis. Yeah, Rockstar presents table tennis.
That game was hilarious, by the way.
See, look, you bought it. So did I.
Yeah. Look at that. I don't 360, man. You go into that serious mode where your person powered up and everything was really fast. You're just mashing the button. That game was so dumb, actually. Now I think about it. Sakon 10 says instead of Wave Race, bring back Golden Sun. I'd agree on that. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
How about both? Why can't we get a Golden Sun and a Wave Race?
Well, we've heard of Wave Race trademarks. We've heard nothing of Golden Sun. So
yeah, Golden Sun.
I'm not happy. Golden Sun. I want Golden Sun to come back.
Yeah, it's probably never coming back at this rate.
Stop it.
I wrote that last week, and I was writing about the optional bosses and that being so brokenly hard, and I loved it.
Yeah, man.
James Clark says, once again, another great show. Spawner, thank you. Do we really want to see another generation of console releases? I do. I actually like when new technology releases, so I'm on board with the next system.
It's always cool when they talk about something they're adding to it that you're just oh yeah, it definitely needs that.
I mean, they already know they got me. People like me are gonna buy them. So
there's enough games to where you can just play old games. If you're content with the systems that have already come out, just play old games. There are so many games that people haven't played, so you don't have to buy the new generation systems if you don't want to, or you can just stick with the old stuff. There's plenty of games that I haven't played. I'd be fine if they said no more new games or whatever. I'd be like, all right, I'm good. I'll just play whatever it is. But except for a few different Nintendo franchises and stuff like that. But for the most part, there's already a ton of stuff. So there's nothing wrong with evolving tech, right? We get better tech.
This generation's filled up very quickly with games that I'm looking at.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next generation, but I do hope they have a better launch. When the PlayStation 4 came out, I still had my PS3 hooked up for about 6 months and I was still gaming on it way more for that because the first 6 months of the PlayStation 4 was weird ports and just crappy stuff like Killzone Shadowfall.
That launch lineups are just never good though. Usually, right? I don't know. I always look at launch lineups like whenever you buy in day one, you're only gonna have like 4 games to pick from or 5 games, but that are good, that are at least decent to look at. I mean, Nintendo 64 launched with what, 2 games?
Yeah, Sega Saturn launched with 4.
Yeah, it's like it's just never a great selection. Usually, you know, it's usually just one really good game that you pick up. So yeah,
Exactly. Knack, baby. Let's go.
Knack 3.
Dougie, again, more PS5 talk. Don't you guys feel it's too soon for a PS5? Yeah, I mean, yes and no, because for sales numbers for the PS4, yeah, because they're not slowing down. But keep in mind, some of us lived through the 4-year cycle of the original Xbox, for example. That was only a 4-year cycle from 2001 to 2005. So
it showed because the Xbox 360 blew up. They should have taken an extra year.
And one other thing, and then it was weird that the Xbox 360 was around for 8 years. Yep. It's like we're not like, and I think kids now are growing up and used to that. It's like no, consoles are supposed to change out like every 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, even 5 years. I mean, we were used to 5 years.
Yeah, before that, cycle for a long time. Yeah,
Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64. We were used to, even to the GameCube. We were so used to that 5 to 6 year cycle. And
to the Switch was 5 years. Not even a full 5 years. It's 4.5.
Well, they had to get out of that situation.
Yeah, it was a had to. Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess right this second is too soon, but like holiday 2019 is like right on schedule for our next system. So I guess I don't know. I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay if it launched 2019. I'd buy it, I'd use it, and I'd be like, cool. As long as it better be backwards compatible though. If it's not backwards compatible,
100% that needs to be there.
Yo, Sean, would you buy PS5 when it launched?
Man, part of me says yes, easy views. Part of me, business wise, part of me says no if the launch lineup sucks. But I mean, probably.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think most of us probably look at buying the next PS5 or the Xbox.
I'm gonna buy it. I'd buy it. Well, I mean, it just depends on your type of content that you do, but I'd definitely pick it up. I think they'll do a better job of making sure that there's a better launch lineup this time around. You know?
Yeah.
I think
my hope is, I'm really hoping that the PlayStation 5, my one big hope is backwards compatibility out the wazoo, way more digital content. I really want the idea of let us buy everything from the PlayStation catalog. Like, stop trying to push PlayStation Now and just give us more digital content. So I want the PlayStation 5 to become the media device. Like, unplug everything else, like hyperbolically.
I mean, if it's fully backwards compatible, does it need a ridiculous launch lineup then?
Yes. No, and that's the thing. I think that helps ease you in there a little bit. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, if you can pick it up and then you have access to like God of War and Persona 5 and all these games from the beginning, like, okay, it kind of lightens the blow. I mean, there's a lot of games you probably haven't picked up yet. You know, like you could just say, okay, I'll buy my PS5. Maybe there's one game that I like, then I can maybe pick up this other game. Or whatever.
I mean, what if it was backwards compatible with like insane upgrades? Like it's just a 4K 60 for everything from the PS4.
That would be cool. But more than anything, I do want at least one really, really strong. I want some like there's rumors that maybe Last of Us 2 may end up being a launch title for the PlayStation 5. And if that happens, guess what? I'm front of the line.
I swear that'd be the smart thing to do. Like at this point, I really think that it should be like a PS5 launch title. Like people, I remember when I was saying like, Skyward Sword. Yes, that game came out on the Wii. I know, whatever. I'm not trying to go back in time, but like if they just waited and they put it out on Wii U as well, I think it could have made things a little bit better. Like, look what they did with Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, right? They probably could have launched it on Wii U, but they said, let's move it. Let's move it to the Switch, and they dual launched it, right? And look at the Switch blew up because obviously without that game, maybe things wouldn't have went the same way,
Yeah.
So it really helped to have that huge. Everyone's gonna buy a game. Like you need it. The Wii U didn't have it, even 3DS didn't have it. Look what happened, till the system started out. So you got to have that game.
What's interesting about Last of Us 2 is I don't know if that and Days Gone can launch in the same year because they just look so similar.
Yes. I don't think that game ever is coming out.
Well, Days Gone's 2019 So,
I don't even believe that. That game was shown off how many years ago when the zombie craze was huge?
Well, Days Gone was supposed to be released this year. They pushed it to 2019, but I just don't know if Last of Us 2 can come out like in 2019 alongside of it. It's just they look so similar.
Well, and the weird thing is, if you watch, they've been really panicking with the marketing of Days Gone. If you listen to a lot of their interviews, they get mad if people say the word zombie. Like, no, these are not zombies. They literally get mad. You can watch any interview from the last year when they're like, oh yeah, we relate to zombies. Like, no, we call them freakers. These are not zombies. These are freakers. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are. You realize what's going on. Like, Last of Us is going to eat you. Like
Chad Tronic fans, I see. Okay, I got it. That's crazy.
Yeah. Fricks.
I think that's all the questions we had and everything. So I guess that's oh wait, one more is it's Conniving Dusk.
Conniving Dusk. Yeah.
Conniving Dusk. There. All right, cool. Thank you. Job proposal. Okay, cool. My name's Isaiah. I was wondering if you need an editor. Please message me via Twitter. I seen it. Okay, cool. I'll get in contact with you. We were looking around at editors and stuff, and if we do that, I'll keep your information here, and I'll reach out to you for that. Evan is going to start working as an editor too.
Yep.
But if we move on from that, we'll like we need more. We'll reach out to you for that. But thank you. I appreciate that. I'll keep your name over here actually. Cool. I guess we can go around, do outros then, and we can finish up. Let's start with one of our guests, Jordan. Where can they find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/JordanFringe94. You can there, Twitter, same thing, all that same stuff.
Cool. Very good. Very good. I mean, that's awesome. Everybody go check them out. And then OJ, where can they find you, man?
Right here on YouTube or on Twitter as well, just at PlayerEssence on here. Cover Japanese RPGs, a lot of Japanese RPGs, a lot of Nintendo news, all sorts of, a lot of live streams, a lot of gameplay live streams, community events, gaming stuff. So yeah, come on by. It's a lot of fun. Pretty much every day. The only time I don't stream is like Sundays, but yeah.
Okay, cool. And then Sean, where can they find you, man?
RGT85 on the interwebs, YouTubes, Twitters, all sorts of places.
Go watch him rage out about a robot.
About cardboard.
Then Max, Dreamcast guy. How are you, man? Where can they find you?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. I'm trying to work on a video about PS4 backwards compatibility coming up in the next couple days on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Working on some big reviews as well. But most important thing is I'm getting super close to 100,000 subscribers. I'm at 95,000 right now. So help me get to 100,000. As promised, when I break 100K, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour live stream where I just sit there playing one game until I lose my mind on camera.
Please don't die. Drink water and stuff.
Actually, I've done one once before, so I actually know a lot of the tricks. Like, don't drink energy drinks. That stuff makes you crash. So yeah.
What I guess we do need somebody to raid if anybody had anyone in mind.
Let me check real quick.
We'll get you guys somebody to go bug.
See who's alive right now.
Thanks to our mods, we had Rax the Great. He was
Abaddon's live. If you guys
cool. We can go do that. That'll work. Thanks to Rax. I saw Smash JT in there as well. Thanks to our moderators. And then Rax has SNES Nostalgia as well. Let me see. We can have two then. That'll be fun. That way people can pick. So I guess OJ, do you have the link for?
Yeah, I just put it in the group chat.
Oh, let me grab it. Let me see. Group chat. There we go. Aha. So Rax will drop a link for SNES Nostalgia, and then I drop the link there for Abaddon. So you can go bug either one. Just let them know that the SpawnCast sent you guys. And I guess that's going to do it for tonight. And we'll be back, of course, next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, hopefully with a whole bunch of stuff to go over and talk about based on what happens this week, since we will be eclipsing the Nintendo investors briefing, which hopefully tells us all new numbers and hopefully maybe a little insight into Pokemon. So we'll see what happens there. But with that, guys, we'll see you next time.